For the Fresno Grizzlies, the manager Fred Stanley. Leading it off at third base is Brian Dallimore. Jamie Athas hits second. He is at shortstop. Todd Linden plays right field and bats third. Getting cleanup at first base, Damon Miner. Back to Fresno is left fielder Tony Torcato, just optioned back from San Francisco. He'll hit fifth. Batting sixth is the center fielder Adam Shabala. The designated hitter is Rob Stratton. He bats seventh. Trey Lunsford does the catching, hits eighth. And batting ninth at second base, David Doster. Pitching for the Grizzlies, left-hander Noah Lowry. Dallimore, Athas, Linden, Miner, Torcato, Shabala, Stratton, Lunsford, Doster, and Lowry on the mound. Your Supercuts starting lineups, the official hair salon and proud sponsor of the Fresno Grizzlies. Call 1-800-SUPERCUTS for the location near you. First of an 8-game homestand, first of a 72 regular season game schedule at Grizzlies Stadium. Again, for Salt Lake, tomorrow at 7:05, Sunday at 2:05, and then Monday at 12:05. And we'll talk all about the promotions throughout the broadcast here tonight. But the two teams still getting ready here on this rather cool Friday night here in Fresno, but that does not stop the crowd from coming out this evening. The promotions, we'll get a little more specific right now. You have the Napa Auto Works fireworks show after the game tonight. And then tomorrow, the Jerome Williams bobbleheads all night for the first 2,500. That'll be sponsored by Evergreen Fine Foods. That'll be sponsored by Mervin's. That'll be, again, Mervin's will sponsor that. And then on Sunday, it'll be Magnetic Schedule giveaway day for the first 10,000, sponsored by Crazy Paints. We'll have the Business Person Special, sponsored by David Sunflower Seeds on Monday. And on Tuesday night at 7:05, starting in Edmonton, Evergreen Fine Foods will sponsor 50-cent hot dog night. So that's the night that I've had circled on my calendar. We're going to have promotions all season long here at downtown Grizzlies Stadium. We're going to have fireworks all season long. We're going to have the Philly Fanatic, Bird Surf, the mascot, several bobblehead doll nights, 5 to be exact, a lot of different theme nights. So this is going to be a fun source of entertainment here at the downtown Grizzlies Stadium. When we get back on the Miller Lite pregame show, we're going to take a look at what happened around the Pacific Coast League. We'll do it in a moment on KAT 103.1. The one.
The pregame show was sponsored by Miller Lite. Miller Lite, good call. Coming up next, we're heading to the ballpark for exciting Fresno Grizzlies baseball. Looking for a great place to celebrate your birthday or team party? The Wildwood Pool and Spa at Grizzly Stadium is the place to be. Also great for bachelor parties, businesses, and family functions. The Wildwood Pool and Spa can accommodate any group from 25 to 50 people in size. Your pool admission includes a catered poolside meal, a unique way to watch Grizzlies take on the competition for all the great price of just $30 per person. Summer dates are filling fast, so cool off in the Fresno heat by calling 442-1994 to secure a spot by the pool today. And now, fans, get ready for exciting Pacific Coast League action. Fresno Grizzlies baseball is on the air. This broadcast is sponsored by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. The Fresno Bee since 1922. The Central Valley's leading newspaper. Subway, Eat Fresh. Community Medical Center. Carl's Jr. Yellow Book USA. His Magazine. Supercuts. Human Services Center. The County of Fresno Use Oil. Now, with all the action, here's the voice of the Grizzlies, Doug Greenwald.
So last week, Jimmy got his hair colored.
Hair coloring? Jimmy? Isn't that a little,
expensive? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts colors hair now, so it's completely affordable.
Well, I was leaning more towards, isn't that kind of like,
risky? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts stylists are trained in hair coloring, so they're not going to mess it up.
Well, that's great information, but I mean, isn't coloring your hair considered somewhat like...
permanent? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts can do it so it'll last till it grows out, or till it gradually fades out. And he says the ladies love it.
Hold the telescope. Ladies love it?
That's what Jimmy says.
Hey, didn't we pass the Supercuts back over the waist?
I think so.
Hair coloring at Supercuts. You know how it is. Supercolor available at select locations.
Time for a change? Try Supercuts' new service, Supercolor. Whether it's highlights, tips, or an all-out glazing, Supercolor is a quick, affordable way for both men and women to show their true colors. Call your local Supercuts to see if Supercolor has arrived.
Opening night at downtown Grizzlies Stadium is fast approaching. Get your tickets now for April 16th. The Grizzlies host the Salt Lake Stingers. First pitch 7:05. Make sure to stay for the Napa Auto Parts fireworks show after the game. For more information, contact the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball. There is nothing minor about it. And welcome back to Fresno Grizzlies baseball. Doug Greenwald with you. We are awaiting the anthem and still taking part in the pregame ceremonies. The gentleman who threw out the first pitch tonight was Bobby Jones, a man who you should be very familiar with, out of Fresno State. Grew up right here in Fresno and went on to have a very successful Major League career with the New York Mets and San Diego Padres. Bobby still lives here in Fresno. And we are going to play an interview I did with him earlier tonight. So here we go.
And welcome back to Fresno Grizzlies baseball. Doug Greenwald with you as the Grizzlies get set for action tonight. Game 2 of this 4-game series with Salt Lake, and we are joined by Fresno native Bobby Jones. And Bobby, you've been out of the game for a couple of years, and what have you been up to?
Well, a lot of things actually. I think I'm the busiest. My friends always say I'm never available to do anything. I'm just so busy nowadays. But the big thing is me and a partner of mine are marketing our barbecue sauce that we're looking forward to getting in stores here in the Fresno area real soon. I have 3 young kids at home, so that takes up a lot of our time, and with dance and baseball and soccer and all that fun stuff.
Well, this barbecue sauce, you have me hungry now. How does this barbecue sauce set apart from other barbecue sauces?
Well, it's a little different. Not your typical barbecue sauce flavor, although it is, but it's a little more sweet. It's got a little bit of a bite at the end, I like to call it. I mean, it's not hot, and my kids love it, and it doesn't bother them at all as far as the spiciness. But we have, for the people who don't like spicy, we do a mild, and then also we do an extra spicy. So you have a little variety there.
You obviously grew up in this area, and this ballpark here in Fresno, as a native Fresno, could you ever imagine Fresno with this stadium?
You know, I've been down here before and didn't really get to look around a whole lot, and it's just, I mean, looking out now, it's beautiful. You know, a lot of these ballparks now are kind of mimicking the Major League parks, and as this one, it's just, you know, everywhere you look, you know, whatever, there's not a bad seat in the house. It reminds me a lot of Norfolk, Virginia, where I started, where I played AAA in Virginia Beach, and you know, the skybox is kind of extended, the little seating area up there, and I mean, it's top notch.
I actually had a chance to see that park. I was in Norfolk in December, right along the water there. That's where you played your AAA, and then on to the big leagues with the Mets for about 8 seasons. Let's go back to 1993, middle of the year at Veterans Stadium, your Major League debut against the team that turned out to be the National League championship winners that year.
Yeah, it was Philadelphia. I remember getting the call and from Norfolk and came up on a Friday night. I was pitching on a Saturday, so I got to see 65,000 people at the vet rocking and rolling in that place, and it was a little exciting. Got the blood flowing a little bit. I mean, it was, you know, I got to admit I had some butterflies, and I mean, when you go up to that level, you're just, as a first timer, you're like, well, and I hope I can get somebody out, you know, because you don't know what the difference is. But I remember my first out, Lenny Dykstra hit just an absolute rocket right over my head, and then I turned around and the center fielder caught it. So after that, I kind of settled down and thought, okay, I got one, I can, you know, it can happen. So ended up pitching a pretty good game, getting a win.
Those of us on the West Coast hear so much about the pressure of pitching or playing in New York because it is what many consider to be the baseball center of the universe, obviously with the Yankees, but certainly with the Mets. You were there firsthand. Tell us about it.
You know, New York was great. It was a little bit different my first year going in, kind of just a, you know, not a culture shock, but I mean just fast-paced and big city. You know, coming from Fresno, I really wasn't used to that. But got to be a resident there, bought a home. You know, like I said, I played there for 8 years, so I got to meet a lot of great people and ended up, you know, still keeping in touch with a lot of those friends.
One of the guys you played with, Mike Piazza, making the transition to first base. What makes him so good?
He's just so strong, and I mean, I couldn't tell you a whole lot about hitting, but I mean, a lot of good hitters you see out there. I mean, they hit the ball hard in any part of the field. You know, sometimes Vladimir Guerrero's a perfect example. I mean, that guy, he hits pitches that are out of the strike zone and hits them over the fence. Whereas, as a pitcher, you make a mistake in the strike zone. You think those are just your costly ones, but when you make a good pitch or a pitch that, most guys aren't going to swing at, these guys are hitting them out to the way over the park and in the gaps for doubles and whatnot.
He spent also time with the Mets when they won the pennant in 2000, and the game that most people remember in Central and Northern California was against a very good friend of yours, Mark Gardner, Game 4. The Mets, although I don't think the Mets would say so, upset the Giants in that series. But did you ever think that you would pitch against Mark Gardner in a game of that magnitude?
I never did. Me and Mark are the best of buddies, and we actually have a foundation together here in Fresno. So we do a lot of stuff together in the off-season. But we looked at it the same way as, we're friends off the field, but, we're competitors when we're pitching against each one another. I was just fortunate that, although Mark pitched a great game, I was probably the best game that I've ever pitched in my career. And, sent us on to the NLCS.
And obviously some very sad news with the passing of his wife, Lori. What do you remember about her?
Well, I remember a lot about Lori, and, she was just, even going back in her high school days at Lemoore, we just a competitor, the greatest person, somebody who was going through such a hard time that you would never know it. I mean, she always wanted the best for her family, and even when we went out and did things as friends, there was times where I knew she wasn't feeling well, but she wanted to be there, and she wanted to do things for her family, and just a great person. She's, deeply going to be missed.
And finally, Bobby, growing up in this area, how often did you have a chance to see the Fresno Giants when they played at Euless Park?
Well, I grew up at Euless Park. I actually lived probably a couple miles from there, so I remember with my dad going down and watching, ball games in that park when I was getting kids chasing foul balls all over the sand. It's just a lot of fun for me.
Well, Bobby, we certainly appreciate your time, and more than welcome up here anytime to sit in.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Fresno native Bobby Jones, back with more of the pregame in a moment.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins Friendly grilled chicken and baby spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers on a bed of 100% baked spinach. It's Atkins Friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. Watch your language. My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
The Fresno Grizzlies have a full lineup in store for you opening weekend. On Saturday, 7:05, it'll be Jerome Williams bobblehead night for the first 2,500 fans, sponsored by Mervyn's. The weekend is capped on Sunday, a 2:05 matinee. The first 10,000 fans will receive Crazy Paint Fresno Grizzlies magnetic schedules. Tickets are still on sale for all three games. Call the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball, there is nothing minor about it.
This is John Bisney, CNN Radio News. Thanks for keeping your radio tuned to the Mountain Cat during these trying times. We'll do our best to keep you informed of current news from around the world, the nation, and California. If you'll give us a few minutes at the top of each hour, we'll keep you informed and up to date. And in the event of critical news, we'll break in with the latest information that affects you. Depend on CNN News and KAAT Radio, the Mountain Cat.
Back here on the Miller Lite pregame show, Greenwald William on KAT 321, the one. I want to thank Bobby Jones, the Fresno State product, and Fresno native for joining us on the pregame show. And definitely we want to get Bobby involved this year with the broadcast here at our home game. And look forward to having a chance to get to know him a little better. So thank Bobby Jones for joining us. Marty, taking a look at the starting lineup. The Grizzlies are taking the field right now. We're going to take a look at what happened around the Pacific Coast League last night. Iowa, a shutout win at Oklahoma. Well, you can hear the fireworks going off here. There's no doubt about that. Iowa 2-0 win over Oklahoma. New Orleans knocked off Omaha 11-6. Albuquerque and Wildwood beat Nashville 14-8. A win for former Fresno Grizzly Matt Blank. Now 1-0 for the Marlins AAA Farm Club. Colorado Springs all over Memphis 11-2. Salt Lake got by Sacramento 8-7. Portland all over Tucson 12-1. And Tacoma in a football score beat Las Vegas 14-7. Now we were going to pause, but keep it here for the playing of the national anthem. Well, beautiful rendition by Fresno's own Donnie Linger for the national anthem here this evening. The Little League groups on their way back out toward the center field fence. And a fun evening here in Fresno awaits as the color guard with the American flag walking off toward first base right now. As the Grizzlies have taken the field. And an outstanding crowd here tonight. A lot of enthusiasm here for opening night, coming home to support the 1-7 Fresno Grizzlies. But you never know. It's right now, maybe the fortunes will change for Fresno, for the Grizzlies specifically, with a homecoming. Around the major leagues tonight, the big series, early season series between the Dodgers and Giants just underway from the ballpark in San Francisco, and Los Angeles is batting in the top of the first. Jason Schmidt just back from the shoulder injury, pitching for the Giants against Odalis Perez. Other action, other finals, the Cubs with back-to-back homers in the bottom of the ninth by Sammy Sosa and Moise Salou beat the Reds 11-10. Philadelphia doubles up Montreal 4-2. The Pirates in a crazy ball game. We're down 2-0 going to the eighth. Scored 7 runs in the top of the eighth. The Mets came back with 4 in the bottom of the eighth, but not enough. The Pirates ended up winning 7-6. Atlanta cools off Florida 5-4. Marlins 7-game winning streak is over. Houston a 2-0 winner at home over Milwaukee. St. Louis clobbering Colorado 13-5. Arizona and San Diego 1-0 Diamondbacks there on the bottom of the second. The big series tonight in Boston between the Yankees and Red Sox. Boston is winning that one 6-2 on the top of the eighth. Tampa Bay at home shuts out the White Sox 3-0. Cleveland beats up on Detroit 10-3. Baltimore all over Toronto 11-2. Kansas City and Minnesota 7-7. Bottom of the seventh at the Metrodome. Oakland and Anaheim 0-0. Bottom second. Texas 3. Seattle 0. Top of the second. Set for baseball here in Fresno. And Noah Lowry on the mound for the Fresno Grizzlies. Tonight you can join us here on KAT 103.1. The One. And Alfredo Amezaga to lead it off to face Lowry. who is without a decision through one start. He is out of the windup, and the first pitch of the ball game, Alfredo Amezaga swings in. This is a fastball, 0-1. And we are underway in Fresno for the first time in 2004. Amezaga switch hitter, that's right-handed. Noah Lowry comes right back. Alfredo takes low. Following the strike to the native of Mexico, off to a 207 start with no homers and 1 run batted in. On the 65-degree evening here in downtown Fresno. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lowry comes back, and Amezaga pushes a bunt foul first base side near the Fresno dugout. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Lowry against Chris Buchek. This is a rematch of the game last Sunday. That's been the only Grizzlies win this year, a 7-1 victory in Salt Lake back on April 11th. Noah did not figure in the decision, went 3 innings, allowed 2 hits and a run, which was earned. Outfield plays Amezaga straight away. And the 1-2 on the way from Lowry, and Alfredo swings in a pop-up foul right side. And the count moves, and the count remains at a ball, 2 strikes. Noah Lowry was the first-round pick by the Giants in 2001. Went to Pepperdine and grew up near there in Ojai, California. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He comes home, and Amezaga swings at a curve, and this is strike 3. And he is out to open the ball game. Now 1 down, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Brian Gordon. Those of you unfamiliar where Pepperdine University is, it is in Malibu. So here is Brian Gordon, who is not from Malibu. He is a native of West Point, New York. Left-handed batter, and the pitch from Lowry. Shattered bat, looped at a shortstop, caught by Aptis, but the bat, in fact, it wasn't a shattered bat, it was the entire bat, as it turned out, went all the way into the first row of seats, into the stand first base side, about 8 rows up. And hope everybody is okay down there. Well, the ball went one way, the bat went the other. And it looks like everyone is all right. Well, Gordon is out number 2 here in the visitors' half of the first. And that'll bring up Rob Quinlan, right-handed batter. And he swings at the first pitch from Lowry and puts 1 foul right side. No balls, 1 strike. Quinlan 333. 9 hits so far in 27 at-bats. Noah Lowry keeps right on going. His 0-1 pitch popped up by Quinlan, foul right side. And the count is quickly at 0-2. Quinlan with 3-run homer against the Grizzlies. That was opening night back on April 8th. Had 5 RBIs in the series against Fresno. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Noah Lowry kicks and delivers, and Quinlan looks at strike 3 on the inside corner. And the Stingers in the first go 1-2-3. Good pitch by Lowry. Nothing Quinlan could do. After half an inning on opening night in Fresno, it is Salt Lake nothing, and Fresno coming up on KAT 103.1. Go on for Big Man Weekend.
Hey, Grizzly fans! Make sure you get the most complete Grizzlies coverage by subscribing daily to the Fresno Bee, and we'll cap it all for the cap. If you are a baseball fan, you won't want to miss the Bee's in-depth stories, columns, and box scores that appear every day in the Bee. In addition to the complete coverage of your hometown AAA team, you will also receive all the top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. Call today to subscribe to the Bee for 3 months. Mention this ad, and we will send you a free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap. Call 411-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe and receive your free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap today.
Welcome to Hank's Kitchen, the cooking show for guys. Today's breakfast, leftover pizza. Step 1, open the fridge. Step 2, pull out the pizza box from last week. But try not to knock over that half-empty can of beer. You're going to need that later. Step 3, look at the pizza. Is it shrunken, dehydrated, and curled up like a witch's boot? If so, you might need to use the microwave. Now, sometimes the pizza is beyond resuscitation. To test it, tap it against the table. If it makes this noise, just go to Carl's Jr. instead for a low-carb breakfast bowl.
There's eggs, cheese, sausage, ham, bacon, and it's all in a bowl. As for the pizza, have it later with that half-empty beer. Just pretend it's a really big cracker.
The low-carb breakfast bowl with only 5 grams of carbs. New at Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. Participation may vary.
After half an inning tonight from Grizzlies Stadium in downtown Fresno, California, Salt Lake nothing in Fresno. Coming up to face the right-hander Chris Buchek. No wins, 1 loss through 1 start. And that was against the Grizzlies last Sunday in Salt Lake. Brian Dallimore, Jamie Athos, Todd Linden here in the first, and Chris Buchek, the right-hander's first pitch to Dallimore. There's a fastball, take on the inside corner, strike 1. 0-1. So the man they called Dally, 290, no homers, 2 runs batted in. Buchek from the middle of the rubber delivers, and Dallimore looks inside. The ball and a strike. Lance Barksdale called balls and strikes. Scott Latinder is the first base umpire. Sean Rakos is the umpire at third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buchek to the plate. Dallimore a high chopper towards second, but the shortstop Amaziga to his left gloves it, and he throws to Quinlan, and Dallimore is out. 1 up, 1 down in the home half of the first. 0-0. Fresno and Salt Lake, and that'll bring up the shortstop, Jamie Athos. Hey, Grizzlies fans, have you heard? Your neighborhood Subway restaurants have delicious salads, like the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach, or the classic club salad. Subway, eat fresh. Buchek to the plate, then Athos drops a bunt, third base side, glove by Pelias, throws and gets Athos. Good play by the third baseman Pelias, who was in on the grass to begin with. And Athos, something we haven't seen him do yet this year, bunt. Did so there, but unsuccessfully. 2 up, 2 down in the home half of the first, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Todd Linden. Buchek was a first-round pick by the Angels back in 2000 out of Auburn, and didn't play until the 2001 season. And now he faces Linden. Switch hitter, bats left-handed, and he takes a fastball for a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Buchek in that game last week in Salt Lake allowed 5 runs, all earned in 3 2/3 innings, giving up 9 hits. Outfield plays Linden straight away, not terribly deep. And the 0-1 on the way to Todd is a breaking ball in the dirt. And the count is at a ball and a strike. In fact, it was Linden who collided with Buchek at first base on that fielder's choice, and that sent Buchek to the showers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Buchek delivers. Linden swings, rips one to second, but right at step. And Bryan throws out Linden at first. 3 ground balls to the Grizzlies in the first, and after an inning from downtown Fresno, 0-0 on opening night. KAT 103.1, the one.
Community Medical Centers is proud to give you all a place to bring your creaks, aches, pains, sprains, and groans. The new state-of-the-art Community Sports Center, conveniently located in North Fresno, offers 12,000 square feet dedicated to fitness training and the latest outpatient rehabilitation therapies. Ask your doctor about the place that every body needs, the Community Sports Center. In store for a hot, long summer in the Valley? Looking for somewhere that will quench your thirst? Then head to downtown Grizzlies Stadium for every home Thursday game. It'll be Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy 12-ounce Miller products and 12-ounce Coca-Cola products for just $1. That's right, just $1 for every Thursday home game. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
Hi, this is Sid Mark with more of the April sounds of Frank Sinatra, and the legend continues. This week, it's Frank Sinatra and Tommy Dorsey, April 1940. Then on to Dinah Shore, April 1947, Neil Hefti, Swingin' Grass, April 1962, all of these goodies and a bunch in between. This week's Sounds of Sinatra. My name is Sid Mark, and you're invited.
Each Sunday evening on KAAT following Grizzlies baseball.
Fresno nothing, Salt Lake nothing. We go to the top of the second inning from downtown Grizzlies Stadium. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The One. Take the Miller Genuine Draft Taste Test against Budweiser and see, smell, and taste the difference. At Miller, we believe that there is good enough and better than it has to be. Miller, good call. Both teams in the first one, 1-2-3, so we start the second with the cleanup man for Salt Lake, Alex Pelias. He'll be followed by Barry Weston and Wilbert Nieves to face the left-hander Noah Lowry. Pelias right-handed batter, and Noah Lowry to the plate, swinging a fly ball foul right side by Pelias. And the count is at no balls and a strike. Pelias 7 for 16 in that series against Sacramento. Series in which Salt Lake took 3 of 4 from the River Cats. No balls, 1 strike. Lowry comes right back, and Pelias swings with a drive to right. On the line, Linden goes up, cannot get it. Goes all the way to the wall. Pelias on his way to second base. Will go in standing up. That ball was hit sharply right at Linden. Todd broke in. Before you knew it, the ball was over his head and all the way to the wall. So Pelias at second base. And that will bring up the left fielder, Barry Weston. So the first base runner for either team.
Number 22, Barry Weston.
And now the right fielder or the left fielder in Weston stands in. Right-handed batter with Pelias at second base, and Weston shows one and looks right down the middle at a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Weston last night 3 for 3 against Sacramento, including a home run, which was his first of the year, 227 on the campaign. Started off the year just 2 for his first 19. Leaded second by Pelias, and the pitch. Weston swings and grounds one past the diving third baseman Dallimore down the left field line toward the Salt Lake bullpen. Pelias rounds third. He will score. Weston will cruise into second base standing up. Back-to-back doubles to open the second inning. 1-0 Salt Lake. Now Weston continues his hot hitting. Give him a run batted in. And with nobody out and a man in, that'll bring up the catcher, Wilbert Nieves. RBI for Weston is his third. So a double to right, and a double to left. Now here's Nieves, who was nothing but trouble in that series in Salt Lake last week. Right-handed batter, and Lowry's pitch. Wilbert swings and fouls into the backstop. And the count is at no balls and a strike. Nieves a home run in that series. That was on opening night. Now in his 8th year of professional baseball. Chance to get Weston home at second. Salt Lake 1, Fresno 0. We're on the top of the second inning. And Noah Lowry to the belt. And a look back at second, but no throw. Neither the shortstop Athos nor the second baseman Doster in the vicinity of Weston. Been a very good crowd here tonight. Grizzlies Stadium. First game here was back in 2002. Lowry from the third base side of the rubber comes home, and Nieves shows bunt, takes low and in. And the count is at a ball and a strike. With the designated hitter, Gary Johnson, waiting on deck. Mike Brumley is the third base coach and manager for Salt Lake. And over at first base, hitting instructor Jim Eppard. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Weston from second base. Athos now trying to keep him close, and Lowry misses with a curve low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lowry, a guy that'll top out at about 90 miles an hour. Very good control. Loves that curve ball. Got called up for the final month of 2003 with the Giants. Got in the 4 games with San Francisco. Did not allow a run in 6 1/3 innings. Runner at second base, Weston. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lowry again to the belt. Now a throwback to second base with the shortstop Athos taking the ball on the second base side of the bag, but Weston back safely. Lowry spent most of last year at Double-A Norwich in the Eastern League, where he was 9-6 with the Navigators in 23 appearances, all as a starter. 2 balls, 1 strike. Then Lowry sidestep delivery, and Nieves chases a fastball well out of the strike zone. Strike 2, 2-2. And then sandwiched between Norwich and San Francisco was his 4-game stint with Fresno, where he went 1-0 in 4 appearances. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wesson from second base. Lowry to the plate. Nieves swings and a little looper toward the line and left, and that is going to land just fair. Wesson rounds third. He will score. Nieves on his way to second base, and he will slide in safely. 3 straight doubles for Salt Lake to open the second inning, and it's now 2-0 Stingers. So all 3 doubles have been completely different. Elias, a line drive, double to right, just over Linden's head. Wesson, a ground ball past Dallimore at third and down the line, and now Nieves, a looper toward left field. The left fielder Torquato had a long way to go for it, and by the time the ball dropped, Nieves was on his way to second. So give him an RBI, and now Gary Johnson stands in, left-handed batter, and he swings and grounds one toward first. The second baseman Doster up with it, Minor unable to get to it, but throws the pitcher Lowry in time, and Nieves goes to third. Johnson is out, 4-1 on the play at first base. Salt Lake a 2-0 lead, and now a man at third with 1 out. For the center fielder, Jake Thrower. So that's the way things have been going so far for the Grizzlies for the first 9 games now. And now Thrower digs in. Switch hitter bats right-handed, 111. Has yet to drive in a run, but has a chance here with Nieves at third. Then he swings to the first pitch and fouls one off. A fastball right side. No balls, 1 strike. With the second baseman, Brian Speck, waiting on deck. Just about complete darkness here in Fresno on this Friday night. From 65 degrees at game time. Seems a lot cooler than that. No balls, 1 strike. Lowry to the plate. The fastball taken for a strike of an ease by Thrower. 0-2. But keep in mind, we were just in Yuma for 4 days where it was 85 to 90 each day and about 85 at game time. Yuma, Arizona is Jake Thrower's hometown. Went to Yuma High School. Nieves at third. No balls, 2 strikes, and Lowry to the plate, and Thrower takes low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now the infield comes halfway in. Grizzlies have struggled offensively the last 3 ball games, scoring just a total of 5 runs in that span. Nieves at third, 1 ball, 2 strikes the count, and Lowry to the plate, and Thrower swings, grounds one to second. Doster up with it, is going to come home, and Lunsford will tag out Nieves. Safe at first is Thrower, but the Grizzlies cut down the lead runner, and that is the second out. And that is tonight's Carl's Jr. Big League play of the game. Without us, some guys would starve. Well, 4-2 on the fielder's choice. Foster to the catcher, Lunsford, 2 down. Thrower the runner at first. It stays 2-0 Salt Lake. And that'll bring up the second baseman, the number 9 batter, Brian Speck. Switch hitter bats right-handed. Runner at first base is Thrower. Been held on by Minor. And Lowry's fastball, and that misses low inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Speck 346 with a home run and 4 runs batted in through his first 8 games at AAA. Outfield medium depth and straightaway as Lowry from the third base side of the rubber comes set. Now he throws home and a fastball low. 1 ball, or 2 balls, no strikes to count. Thrower the runner at first base. They get to attempt this field this year. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Lowry again to the belt. Now to the plate again, and the breaking ball. Strike called on the inside corner. 2 balls, 1 strike. Speck did not play last night against Sacramento. Was 3 for 11 in the series against the River Cats. 2 balls, 1 strike to count with 2 outs. Small lead at first by Thrower. And Noah Lowry delivers, and a fastball swung on and missed by Speck. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Takes the high heat right there. Sacramento, who won the AAA, or won the Pacific Coast League last year, off to a 3-5 start. Tucson leads the South Division, a 3-game lead over Sacramento with a 6-2 mark. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Lowry will throw to first base and back safely standing up as thrower. Lowry earned Pacific Coast League Pitcher of the Week honors last year. In fact, it was in his first start with the Grizzlies. Had an outstanding outing. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Lead at first by thrower. And Lowry to the plate, and Speck takes up and away. And the count is now full, 3-2. And that first ever game with Fresno ended up striking out 8 Tucson players in 7 innings. And that earned them the PCL honor. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-0 Salt Lake. Thrower ready to go from first. He takes off and Speck swings and fouls one of the backstop. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And then Lowry had his contract purchased by the Giants on September 1st. Well, the team was in Arizona. I remember that time. That was when the Grizzlies season ended. We were in Tucson. Big club was in Arizona. We used to get the guys up to Phoenix. Payoff pitch with thrower going. Speck swings, pops it up. Right at the second baseman, Doster, moves over a couple steps to his left, and he makes the catch. But Salt Lake in the second comes up with 2 runs, 3 hits. They leave one. And after an inning and a half on opening night from Fresno, it's 2-0 Salt Lake on KAT 103.1. The one for the sounds of Sinatra with Sid Martin.
Do you change your own oil and oil filter? If so, the city and county of Fresno would like to thank the do-it-yourselfer for recycling your used oil and filters. It's important to do the right thing. Did you know that oil never wears out? It only gets dirty. Used oil can be recycled over and over, helping to preserve our resources and environment. Dumping just 1 gallon of used motor oil in the drain or the ground contaminates up to 1 million gallons of water, and it's illegal. Do the right thing. Recycle your used motor oil and oil filters properly. It's easy. Just call 1-800-CLEAN-UP to locate the state-certified collection center near you. That's 1-800-CLEAN-UP. Sponsored by the City and County of Fresno, funded by a grant from the California Integrated Waste Management Board.
Grizzlies mini ticket plans are now on sale. You can choose from a 12-game plan, which includes opening night, 5 giveaway nights, fireworks, and special appearances by the Philly Fanatics, Raiderettes, and Berserk. Or choose the All-Star 18-game plan, which gives you your choice of the day or days of the week which suit you best. That's right. You get to choose your plan. Contact the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
Hi, this is Sid Mark with more of the April sounds of Frank Sinatra, and the legend continues. This week, it's Frank Sinatra and Tommy Dorsey, April 1940. Then on to Dinah Shore, April 1947, Neil Heskey, Swingin' Grass, April 1962, all of these goodies and a bunch in between. This week's Sounds of Sinatra. My name is Sid Mark, and you're invited.
Each Sunday evening on KAAT following Grizzlies baseball.
We go to the bottom of the second, 2-0 Salt Lake, and Damon Miner leads it off, facing Chris Buchek. And the right-hander's first pitch is inside to the fake first baseman, who stands 6'7". 1 ball, no strikes. Salt Lake scoring twice in the top of the center. Now Fresno trying to come right back. As Buchek out of the windup, kicks and delivers, and Miner takes low and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Damon a home run last night, a 2-run shot. Already with 9 RBIs in the infancy of 2004. 2 balls, no strikes. Buchek comes back, and Miner a big swing and a foul ball left side. And the count is at 2-1. Well, one would think that 9 RBIs for the first week would put them tops in the PCL. Not the case. 2-1 the count. Buchek comes back, and Miner swings and swats another one foul left side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Calvin Pickering of Omaha already with 16 runs batted in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Buchek again turning in at Nieves, the catcher, out of the windup. And a 2-2 offering. Damon Miner swings, and this is at a pitch in the dirt. Strike 3, 1 down. And Buchek has set down the first 4 Grizzlies to face him tonight. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Tony Torcato. We have Pickering at 16 RBIs. Van Johnson, 15 RBIs. with Sacramento. 8 came in one game. Chad Tracy has 11 with Tucson, but Minor is amongst the league leaders with 9. Well, here's Torquato, left-handed batter, and he takes a big swing and a dribbler towards first. Quinlan well off the bag to field it, and he underhands it to the pitcher. Buchek in plenty of time. And Torquato is out. 3-1 on the play at first. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Adam Shabala.
Number 9, Adam Shabala.
Trust the Fresno Bee for complete coverage of the Grizzlies, top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. The Fresno Bee is Central California's leading newspaper. Call 559-441-6233 to subscribe. Buchek kicks on his first pitch to Shabala, a ground ball right to the first baseman Quinlan. He'll take it to the bag. There the unassisted put out, and the Grizzlies go very quickly in the home half of the second. Nothing across. We go to the third. It remains Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing on KAT 103.1. The one for Sean Boyd weather.
Do you like great bargains? Enjoy online auctions? Check out B-Link, the Valley's largest local online auction. This is your chance to bid on hundreds of items from local retailers. First, log on to FresnoBee.com/B-Link. That's Fresno, BEE.com/BEELINK. And register anytime beginning April 12th for your chance to preview items up for bid. Check out the merchandise you're interested in at the store's location. Then, look for the product guide in your Fresno Bee starting Sunday, April 18th. But the real fun begins Tuesday, April 20th, when you start bidding. B-Link, the Fresno Bee's online auction. Bid online and save.
Welcome to Hank's Kitchen, the cooking show for guys. Today's breakfast, leftover pizza. Step 1, open the fridge. Step 2, pull out the pizza box from last week. But try not to knock over that half-empty can of beer. You're going to need that later. Step 3, look at the pizza. Is it shrunken, dehydrated, and curled up like a witch's boot? If so, you might need to use the microwave. Now, sometimes the pizza is beyond resuscitation. To test it, tap it against the table. If it makes this noise, just go to Carl's Jr. instead for a low-carb breakfast bowl. There's eggs, cheese, sausage, ham, bacon, and it's all in a bowl. As for the pizza, have it later with that half-empty beer. Just pretend it's a really big cracker.
The low-carb breakfast bowl with only 5 grams of carbs. New at Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. Present participation may vary.
2 innings complete here in Fresno. A 2-0 lead for the Salt Lake Stingers. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one, and number 1, will be coming to the plate to lead off the top of the third for Salt Lake. It'll be the shortstop, Alfredo Amezaga. They'll be followed by the right fielder, Brian Gordon, and the first baseman, Rob Quinlan. Salt Lake with 2 runs in the top of the second. RBI doubles for Barry Weston and Wilbert Nieves. So now Amezaga digs in for the second time tonight. And Noah Lowry's first pitch is a fastball taken for a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Amezaga struck out swinging to open the ball game. And Lowry keeps right on going. His 0-1 pitch, swinging a foul ball right side. No balls, 2 strikes. The Grizzlies would like to thank Coney Island Restaurant for providing today's press box food. Be sure to stop by Coney Island, located just around the corner from the stadium at 1906 Tulare Street. Thanks, Coney Island. No balls, 2 strikes, and Lowry misses high with a fastball. 1-2 the count. You can see the left field bleachers filled tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lowry comes right back, and Amezaga swings, swats one to second base along the ground. Doster to his left has it, and he throws out Amezaga, who is retired for the second time tonight. 1 up, 1 down here in the visitors' half of the third inning, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Brian Gordon. Both these teams traveled this morning, or in the case of the Grizzlies, throughout the night. We left Yuma at 10:40. We had the exact time, 10:40 p.m. after the game last night, and got in at about 7:15 this morning to Grizzly Stadium, which I think is a pretty good time from Yuma, Arizona. So here's Gordon, and the left-handed batter takes up and in, a ball, no strikes. Factor in a couple of stops, but overall, about 8.5, 9 hours. Before you knew it, we were in Fresno. 1-0 pitch on the way. Gordon swings, dribbles one foul, first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike. And then Salt Lake flew in from their hometown to Fresno. This is about an hour and a half flight. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And Noah Lowry to the plate. Fastball. Gordon swings and rips one right side out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. But fortunately for the Grizzlies, we took 2 buses home last night, so everybody was able to stretch, get as comfortable as one can on a bus ride like that. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lowry again comes home and a breaking ball's in the dirt. 2-2. People would ask, well, you could have flown home today, and well, sure, but we wouldn't have gotten in until about noon. This way, we were in at 7 in the morning, and I think the players prefer that just to get right out of town. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lowry deals and a breaking ball in the dirt. Ball 3 to Gordon. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Generally speaking, at AAA, you fly. But we'll have a couple more bus trips this year. Sacramento, that's an easy one, just 3 hours up Highway 99. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Lowry's payoff pitch. Gordon swings, lifts one high in the air in the right field. Playable for Linden, who drifts back a few steps, and Pott is there to put it away. 2 out. On the top of the third, Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. And here is the first baseman, Rob Quinlan. He struck out looking back in the first, right-handed batter. Not often that we have said that Rob Quinlan has struck out. Wide open stance from the right side. And he takes a high fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Quinlan 3 hits last night against Salt Lake, or against Sacramento. 1 ball, no strikes to the count, and he swings and pops this one up out in the shallow left center field. Shabala, the center fielder, calling for it, and he is there to make the catch. Lowry sets down Salt Lake. 1, 2, 3 in the third. We go to the bottom half. It is 2-0 Stingers on KAAT 103.1. The one for the sounds of Sinatra.
Folks, the Grizzlies have fun waiting for you at the ballpark this season. Every Monday home game, it's Monday Madness presented by David Sunflower Seeds. For just $12, you get 2 field level seats, 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and 2 bags of David Sunflower Seeds. Offer excludes July 5th. For more information, call the Grizzlies at 559-442-1994. See you at the ballpark.
So last week, Jimmy got his hair colored.
Hair coloring? Jimmy? Isn't that a little,
expensive? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts colors hair now, so it's completely affordable.
Well, I was leaning more towards, isn't that kind of like,
risky? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts stylists are trained in hair coloring, so they're not going to mess it up.
Well, that's great information, but I mean, isn't coloring your hair considered somewhat like...
permanent? That's what I thought. But Jimmy says Supercuts can do it so it'll last till it grows out, or till it gradually fades out. And he says the ladies love it.
Hold the telescope. Ladies love it?
That's what Jimmy says.
Didn't we pass the Supercuts back to the waist?
I think so.
Hair coloring at Supercuts. You know how it is. Supercolor available at select locations.
Time for a change? Try Supercut's new service, Supercolor. Whether it's highlights, tips, or an all-out glazing, Supercolor is a quick, affordable way for both men and women to show their true colors. Call your local Supercuts to see if Supercolor has arrived.
All right. Robert Stratton leads it off for Fresno as we go to the home half of the third. A 2-0 lead for Salt Lake. Stratton, Lunsford, Doster, 7-8-9 to face the right-hander Chris Buchek. And Rob Stratton's first at bat in Fresno as a Grizzly. And Buchek's first pitch, and Big Rob swings and pops one up foul right side. No balls, 1 strike. Stratton, 6'2", 250 pounds. Played linebacker in high school, growing up there in Santa Barbara. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Salt Lake. No runs, no hits, no errors for Fresno. Stratton the DH tonight. And the 0-1 on the way, and that is taken outside. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Again with the Grizzlies playing Salt Lake, American League rules of the DH. So Rob getting the call there. The 1-1 pitch, big swing and a foul to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. For Stratton, he comes in at 259, no homers and 1 run down at him. 7 hits in his first 27 at bats. Outfield swung well around to the left. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Buchek to the plate. Stratton made a motion at a high fastball, but did not go around, said first base umpire Scott Latender. 2-2. Stratton had a home run here last year against the Grizzlies off Frankfurt Albuquerque, a ball that went out to right field. But tremendous power to all fields. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and he swings and fouls one off right side. And the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned Buchek, the number 1 pick by the Angels in 2000 out of Auburn. A brief appearance last year in the big leagues. The 2 pitchers opposing each other tonight who had September call-ups in 2003. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The right-hander out of the windup delivers, and a fastball up and away to Rob Stratton. 3-2 the count. And both pitchers who were number 1 picks. Buchek in 2000, Lowry 2001. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Buchek's payoff pitch. Rob Stratton swings and pops it up. Back of second base, Speck down in shallow right field, looking up into that Fresno night sky, and he makes the catch backpedaling. 1 down. Well, Stratton retired for the first time tonight, 7 in a row, set down by Buchek to begin the contest. Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. And that'll bring up the catcher, Trey Lunsford. Lunsford, a right-handed batter. Played last night and was 0 for 4. Buchek to the plate, and Lunsford takes a breaking ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. Trey hit into the game-ending double play. Very unusual double play turned by Edmonton to end the contest. 1 ball, no strikes. Buchek comes home, and Lunsford swings there and rips one into left field, a base hit. So Trey, who hit a line drive last night at the third baseman Julius Matos. Matos ended up dropping the ball. Looked like he'd snow-coned it for a moment. Dropped the ball, then threw to second to get 1 out, and then the second baseman Henry Mateo on the first to get Lunsford in the ball game. It looked like at first that Matos had caught the ball, but apparently it dropped down to the last moment, and they were still able to turn 2. Now here is David Doster, the number 9 batter, facing Buchek, and his first pitch from the set position for the first time tonight is at the knees for a strike. 0-1 the count. 158 for Doster. 3 for his first 19 without an RBI. Lunsford, the runner at first base. 2-0 Salt Lake, home half of the third. Outfield around toward right, not terribly deep. And Buchek kicks and delivers. Doster looks low outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck, the top of the order, and the third baseman, Brian Dallimore. First of 2 trips to Fresno in the regular season for Salt Lake. As they'll return here in early June. 1-1 pitch. Doster takes low away, gets found by the catcher, Nieves. 2 balls and a strike. Well, we will be done with Salt Lake by June 8th. We'll say we will have by then played 16 games, or at least scheduled to play 16 games by then against the Stingers. Last year we were done with Salt Lake also by early June. Remember last year that the New Orleans-Omaha series, that was done by early May. They had already played 16 times in the first 30 games. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner at first base is Lunsford. Not a lot of speed, being held on by Quinlan. Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. Infield a double play depth. And Buchek's pitch to Doster, fastball low outside. And the count is now at 3-1. And I had a chance to visit with David Doster while we were in Salt Lake, and he was really looking forward to getting home, playing at Grizzlies Stadium, as were all of these Grizzlies. A standing facility here right in downtown. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Lunsford at first base, a small lead. And Buchek's pitch with Lunsford going, is swung on and fouled off right side. So a hit and run count at 3-1. And Doster saw a pitch down the middle, but Ripped it foul right side, 3-2. In this ballpark here, the swimming pool out in center field. The manually operated scoreboard out in right center field. The video board out in left center. Have the Miller Lite party deck down the left field line. Wide concourses here to watch the game. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count with 1 out. Lunsford at first. Again, he goes. The Doster swings and rips one to short under the glove of Amaziga, who was moving to his left to cover second. On into left center field. Scooting over to third base is Lunsford as the center fielder thrower gets the ball and fires it back into the second baseman Speck standing near the bag. And the Grizzlies, with their first threat tonight, have runners at the corners with 1 out for Brian Dallimore. And you talk about baseball being a game of inches. Amaziga had to go over to second base in case there was a play there on Lunsford. Doster hit the ball right in the direction of where Amaziga was going, and Alfredo just missed it. He comes up with that. It's more than likely a double play. Instead, the Grizzlies have a pair on with 1 out for Dallimore. He ran to the shortstop back in the first inning. So Fresno, after being set down 7 in a row, back-to-back singles. And now Bryan stands in, and he takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. Let me correct that. Apparently, it's going to be an error charged to Amaziga. So instead of back-to-back singles, it's going to be an error on the shortstop. But nevertheless, the Grizzlies still runners at the corners. The count to Dallimore is at a ball, no strikes. Infield remains a double play down. 2-0 Salt Lake, home half of the third. And Buchek to the belt will throw to first. And back standing up safely is Doster, who has yet to attempt the steal this year. Brian looks down to his third base coach and manager Fred Stanley for the sign. Over at first base, setting instructor Steve Decker. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Runners late in the corners, and Buchek's pitch. Dallimore swings and fouls into the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grizzlies in their home whites tonight. Grizzlies spelled across the front, purple letters, black trim. Salt Lake in the sleeveless road grays. Salt Lake spelled across the front in red letters with the red short sleeve undershirt. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. And Buchek kicks and delivers. Dallimore takes a curve low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Salt Lake going with the red caps tonight. 2 balls, 1 strike to count with 1 out. On deck, the shortstop, Jamie Aptis. 2 runs, 3 hits, an error for the Stingers. No runs, a hit, no errors for the Grizzlies. Lunsford at third, Doster at first. And now Buchek a look at third and look at first, but no throw to either base. The crowd, as most crowds do, regardless of where we are in the country or in Canada, in the case of Edmonton, wanting a balk. But that it was a legal move by Buchek, stepped off the rubber. And you can really do anything you want when you step off the rubber. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. We'll try it again as Buchek again to the belt. Now delivers, and Dallimore takes a slider in the dirt. Ball 3. 3-1. Buchek pitched a complete game here last year, only allowing a run back on June 16th. Three balls, 1 strike to count with 1 out. And yes, he did get the win in that ball game. On his lead in the corners. And the 3-1. Dallimore takes a fastball way up high. Ball 4. Lunsford holds at third. Doster down to second. Dallimore on at first. 3 straight Grizzlies have reached. And here is the shortstop, Jamie Aptis. And the end is the catcher walking the ball back to Buchek. Aptis last night was 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. So even though we're very early in the ball game, really imperative here that Aptis at least get a run home. The Grizzlies have to get a run here in the third inning with the bases loaded with 1 out, down by a pair. 2-0 Salt Lake. And Buchek His first pitch to Athos, Jamie takes a fastball missing outside. 1 ball, no strikes. And runners at every base. Buchek kicks in his 1-0 pitch. Athos takes. That's up and away. 2 balls, no strikes. The Buchek has set down the first 7 with ease, struggling right now. And Athos has to be feeling pretty good. Up in the count, 2-0 with the bases loaded. No room to put him. Lunsford's at third. Doster at second. Dallimore at first. 2 balls, no strikes. And Buchek delivers. Athos swings and a drive into center field. And thrower on the run. Did he make the catch or not? He's going to throw to the plate. And they get the force at the plate. Well, I guess the ball dropped, but the out is recorded at home plate. Well, your standard 8-2 fielder's choice. Now, it's one of those right there where if you're Trey Lunsford, you have to go halfway because that was going to be awfully shallow to score if it was a sacrifice fly, and obviously you can't take off toward the plate if the ball is caught. Really nothing you can do there. Well, Lunsford is forced at the plate, 8-2. Doster goes to third, Dallimore to second. Athos aboard at first, and here is Todd Linden with 2 outs. And he takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1. I never saw a signal from any of the umpires, and I had a tough time to see whether or not the ball was caught. But apparently thrower unable to catch it, but they get the lead runner. And Salt Lake will be more than happy to take any sort of force out. No balls, 1 strike. Linden grounded out back in the first inning. Runners at every base, and Buchek's pitch, fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now it's Doster at third, Dallimore at second, Athos at first. Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. 1 ball, 1 strike with Minor on deck. Buchek to the belt. Now he delivers, and Linden swings and tips 1 foul left side near the Salt Lake dugout. 1-2 the count. So you can add that up to the things that have been frustrating for the Grizzlies in the early going. Bases loaded, 1 out. They get a ball hit to the outfield, and it ends up being a force out at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. Doster at third, Dallimore at second, Athos at first. Good speed on the bases. As Linden waits, switch hitter bats left-handed. And the 1-2 from Buchek. Fastball, strike 3 called on the inside corner. And the Grizzlies turned away in the third despite having the bases loaded with 1 out. No runs, a hit, and error. 3 left. We go to the 4th from Fresno, 2-0 Salt Lake on KAT 103.1, the 1.
Get ready for another test. Yeah, we know you've had enough tests to last a lifetime, but this one's actually kind of fun. It's the Miller Taste Challenge. Just order a Miller Lite and a Bud Light. Then see them, smell them, and taste them. First, take a look at the color. Miller Lite has a rich golden hue. Now for smell. Don't worry, you don't have to swirl it around like some kind of wine snob. Just take a whiff. You're looking for a nice malty aroma. Finally, the most important part, take a sip. We don't need to tell you what to look for when it comes to tasting a beer. It ought to taste great, crisp, and never watered down. In other words, Miller Lite. And Miller Lite's got half the carbs of Bud Light and fewer calories. So that's it, the whole test. We think you'll prefer great-tasting, less-filling Miller Lite. But don't take our word for it. Try the test and see for yourself. Because at Miller, we believe there's good enough and there's better than it has to be. Miller. Good call. Miller Lite contains 3.2 grams of carbs and 96 calories per 12 ounces. Bud Light contains 6.6 grams and 110 calories. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Looking for a great place to celebrate your birthday or team party? The Wildwood Pool and Spa at Grizzlies Stadium is the place to be. Also great for bachelor parties, businesses, and family functions. The Wildwood Pool and Spa can accommodate any group from 25 to 50 people in size. Your pool admission includes a catered poolside meal, a unique way to watch Grizzlies take on the competition for all the great price of just $30 per person. Summer dates are filling fast, so cool off from the Fresno heat by calling 442-1994 to secure a spot by the pool today.
We head to the top of the fourth inning from Fresno, California. Salt Lake 2, Fresno nothing. But Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The 1. And now it's Polias to lead it off. They'll be followed by Barry Weston and Wilbert Nieves, 4-5-6 here in the visitors' half of the fourth. And Noah Lowry's first pitch to Polias is fouled off right side. And the count is a no balls and a strike. Well, they have changed the ruling on the ball hit by Doster to a single. That was the ball that went under the glove of Amezaga last inning. Lowry's 0-1 pitch, swinging a chopper to shortstop. Athos backs up a few steps and has plenty of time to get the slow-footed Polias. And Alex is out number one here in the top of the fourth. A 2-0 lead for the Salt Lake Stingers. That'll bring up the left fielder, Barry Wesson. They'll give Doster credit for a single to center, take away the error from Amezaga. The Grizzlies in the bottom of the third, despite not scoring, ended up with 2 hits, but still left the bases loaded. Here is Weston, an RBI double back in the second, and a fastball from Lowry is taken for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. Lowry working quickly. Comes right back. Weston, a ground ball to short. Right at Aptis and right through Aptis down in the shallow left field. Weston a big turn at first, and he will hold there. Ball hit right along the ground and ate Aptis up. Salt Lake seemed to hit every ball to Aptis when we were there, and they hit the first 2 to him here in the fourth inning. So Weston is aboard. And charge an error to Jamie Aptis. So 1 on, 1 out, and that'll bring up the catcher, Wilbert Nieves. Aptis charged with his third error this season. Will Nieves an RBI double back in the second. Salt Lake in that inning, 3 straight doubles to start the second, as Nieves looks outside from Lowry. 1 ball, no strikes. Weston the runner at first base, being held on by Minor. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Stingers. No runs, 2 hits, an error for the Grizzlies. Ballamore back of the bag, but close to the line at third. And Lowry an easy toss to Minor over at first base, holding on Weston. Barry back in, safely standing up. 7:05 tomorrow, 2:05 Sunday, 12:05 Monday. All against Salt Lake. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Outfield around to the left. Lowry from the third base side of the rubber is set. And now he comes home and is swinging a grounder to shortstop. Aptis to Doster at second for 1 on the first. Double play. And Jamie Aptis atones for the error by starting the inning ending 6-4-3 Twin killing. No runs, an error. Nobody left. We go to the bottom of the fourth from Fresno on opening night. 2-0 Salt Lake on KAT 103.1. The 1 for Grizzlies baseball.
Hey, Grizzly fans! Make sure you get the most complete Grizzlies coverage by subscribing daily to the Fresno Bee, and we'll cap it off with a cap. If you are a baseball fan, you won't want to miss the Bee's in-depth stories, columns, and box scores that appear every day in the Bee. In addition to the complete coverage of your hometown AAA team, you will also receive all the top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. Call today to subscribe to the Bee for 3 months. Mention this ad, and we will send you a free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap. Call 411-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe and receive your free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap today.
Baseball season is here, and it's time to book your picnic in the Miller Pavilion at Grizzlies Stadium. Watch your Fresno Grizzlies battle the competition in the best stadium in minor league baseball. The Miller Pavilion provides a great environment for your company or church picnic, and your admission includes your seat and a fully catered meal. Prices start as low as $21.50, and availability is limited. So call 442-1994 to speak with a Grizzlies representative today to book your event.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers on a bed of 100% baby spinach. It's Atkins Friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. Watch your language. My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
A 2-0 lead for Salt Lake as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning tonight here in Fresno. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Salt Lake Stingers. No runs, 2 hits, an error for the Fresno Grizzlies. Damon Miner, Tony Torcato, Adam Shabala for 5-6 to face the right-hander Chris Buchek, who got out of trouble in the third inning. And now faces Miner to start the fourth, and Damon swings in a dry foul into the Fresno dugout. One does not want to get hit by any foul ball, but especially off the bat of Damon Miner. No balls, 1 strike. He struck out swinging back in the second inning with 2 strikeouts for Buchek. 0-1 the count. And Chris from the first base side of the rubber delivers. Miner, big swing, another foul ball toward the Fresno dugout. No balls, 2 strikes. Buchek grew up in LaPorte, Indiana, but went on to play with Auburn in the SEC. No balls, 2 strikes, and Miner swings in a towering pop-up first base side. The second baseman Speck calling for it, and he is there in the middle of the base path to make the catch. 1 down here in the bottom of the fourth inning. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Tony Torcato. Miller Lite, half the carbs of Bud Light. Now that's what you call great taste, less filling. Miller Lite, good call. Well, here's Torcato. They grounded out to the first baseman with the pitcher covering back in the back in the second inning, now up in the fourth inning. And Buchek to the plate, and Torcato looks outside of the fastball. 1 ball, no strikes. Torcato just down from San Francisco. Had a pinch single in a ball game in Houston last week. 1 ball, no strikes, and he takes outside. 1-1 to count. The game he got the hit was the game that Roger Clemens beat the Giants. But the Tony's hit came after Clemens was out of the ball game. 2 balls, no strikes. Buchek to the plate. Torcato swings, and this is at a slider in the dirt. 2-1. I asked Tony how hard Clemens was throwing that night. He said between 93 and 96. 2 balls, 1 strike to count with Adam Shabala on deck. Buchek again out of the windup. Comes to the plate, and the fastball misses up and away to Tony. 3-1 the count. It's always fun to catch up with Torcato. I've had a chance to know him since 2000 when he was at Shreveport. 3-1 the count. Out of the windup is Buchek. Now to the plate, and Torcato takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. 3-2 the count. Tony wearing his familiar number 34. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield around to the left. And the payoff pitch, Tony swings and rips one foul right side. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Torcato excited to find out that Steve Andrade is with the Salt Lake Ball Club. We saw Steve pitch against the Grizzlies last week. Both went to high school in Woodland, California, just north of Sacramento. Again, Buchek's payoff pitch, and he'll have to make another one as Torcato lifts one foul left side. And the count remains 3 balls, 2 strikes. The Woodland High Wolverines. It's where Tony is from, drafted number 1 by the Giants in '98. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And again, the payoff to Torcato. Fastball, ripped foul first base side. And the count remains at 3-2. So the Grizzlies home for 8. And then the next road trip takes us to Tucson from the 24th through the 27th of this month. We our first look at the Sidewinders, who are off to a good start at 6-2. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And again, Buchek out of the windup. Delivers. Torquato swings and a fly ball. Well hit right field. Gordon is back at the wall. It is gone. Home run, Tony Torquato. And that cuts the Salt Lake lead in half. It is now 2-1. Stingers on Torquato's first homer of 2004. A towering blast out to right center field. Ball fell right in front of the manually operated scoreboard. So here is Adam Chavala, and Buchek to the plate, misses inside. 1 ball, no strikes. So that gets the crowd going. Chavala grounded out to the first baseman unassisted his first time up. Buchek to the plate, misses low with a fastball. 2 balls, no strikes. Now, Tony had a real good attitude about being sent back from San Francisco, knew that this opportunity would give him some at-bats. 2 balls, no strikes, and Buchek's pitch. The ball swings, grounds 1 foul, first base side. 2 balls, 1 strike. And he's made the most of it so far with a home run. 2 balls, 1 strike to count with 1 out. Chavala, left-handed batter, and Buchek from the right side delivers. Adam takes in the dirt. 3-1. And the designated hitter, Robert Stratton, wetting on deck. Now this is Chabala's first chance to play at Grizzlies Stadium. So all of last year at Double-A Norwich. 3 balls, 1 strike. And Buchek to the plate. Chabala takes, and that misses high, ball 4. Second walk allowed by the Salt Lake right-hander. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Robert Stratton. That's the ball club Norwich has had several of its games rained out already. Last year they had most of April and early May rained out, and that can happen on the East Coast. Rained out or snowed out. Or sometimes just have unplayable conditions. You can have heavy rains one night, it can be sunny the next, but the field, if it's not in good shape, you're not playing. So here is Stratton, who popped out to second base back in the 3rd inning. Leaded first by Chabal, the tying run, and he draws a throw over from Buchek, back in, standing up safely. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Stingers. Run 3 hits and an error for the Grizzlies. Stratton would know all about playing in the Eastern League. Spent a few years at Binghamton, South Central New York in the Met system. Buchek to the belt. And with right-hander now to the plate, and Stratton takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner. And the count is at 0-2. Trey Lunsford, the catcher, wetting on deck. Very gentle breeze blowing here tonight at downtown Grizzlies Stadium. Buchek again to the plate, and Stratton takes low outside. Throw back to first, and just back safely with a dive is Chabala. The first base umpire, Scott Latinder, over to get an angle on that play. He also slipped, but able to see the whole thing. Let me correct the count of Stratton. So the ball and a strike. 2-1 Salt Lake. Bottom of the 4th inning. Chabala at first base, and now Buchek steps off the rubber. But there are often times in April we'll see an entire league on the East Coast or the Midwest rained out or snowed out. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Chabala from first, and held on by Quinlan, and the pitch. Stratton chases a breaking ball. And, well, apparently he's out. I guess the count was at 1-2. Not 1-1, so I apologize for that. But Stratton is out. 3rd strikeout for Buchek. And here is the catcher, Trey Lunsford. swing on the left field, back in the third inning, and then he was forced at the plate on the ball hit by Athos that fell in front of the center fielder thrower. But again, Lunsford did the right thing. He had to hold up in case that ball was caught. Shabala from first, and Lunsford swings and rips this one. Back to second, diving stop by Spick. Trips up, throws offline, and the ball ends up in front of the Fresno dugout. Going first to third is Shabala. Lunsford holds it first. There is a screen right in front of the Fresno first base dugout. And the ball thrown nowhere in the vicinity of the first baseman, Quinlan. Went one hop to the facing of the Fresno dugout on a ball that Speck should have not thrown. Outstanding stop to get to the ball, but ended up wasting a throw, and he's going to be charged with an error. Lunsford will get credit for an infield single. Shabala went to second on the single. He goes to third on the errant throw by the second baseman, Speck. Runners at the corners. And here is the second baseman, David Doster. And Buchek's first pitch to Doster is a fastball taken for a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. The Shabala tying run 90 feet away at third base. Lunsford, the go-ahead run at first base. Salt Lake 2, Fresno 1. Bottom of the fourth, and Buchek to the belt. The right-hander down to the plate, and Doster takes that as inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Norwich team tonight, a winner at home over New Britain. That's the Twins AA club, 3-2. A few former Grizzlies play for the Norwich Ball Club. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runners lead at the corners. And Buchek delivers. Doster swings and misses at a slider in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Well, tonight, Norwich a winner over a former Fresno Grizzly, Boof Bonser, who was traded in the offseason to Minnesota in the A.J. Brzezinski deal. Sent Bonser and Joe Naismith over to Minnesota. Well, Bonser at AA New Britain. A 3-2 loss to his former teammates tonight. Carlos Valderrama, former Grizzly, had a base hit, as the former Fresno outfielder Doug Clark. And I'd say there's a good chance we could see those two here sometime this year. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at the corners, and Buchek's pitch. Doster looks at strike 3 on the inside corner, and that ends the fourth. Grizzlies get a run on the homer by Torquato. 2 hits. They leave 2. There was also an error. We go to the fifth. 2-1 Salt Lake on KAT 103.1, the one.
The Fresno Grizzlies have a full lineup in store for you opening weekend. On Saturday, 7:05, it'll be Jerome Williams bobblehead night for the first 2,500 fans, sponsored by Mervyn. The weekend is capped on Sunday, a 2:05 matinee. The first 10,000 fans will receive Crazy Pink Fresno Grizzlies magnetic schedules. Tickets are still on sale for all 3 games. Call the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball, there is nothing minor about it.
Welcome to Hank's Kitchen, the cooking show for guys. Today's breakfast, leftover pizza. Step 1, open the fridge. Step 2, pull out the pizza box from last week. But try not to knock over that half-empty can of beer. You're going to need that later. Step 3, look at the pizza. Is it shrunken, dehydrated, and curled up like a witch's boot? If so, you might need to use the microwave. Now, sometimes the pizza is beyond resuscitation. To test it, tap it against a table. If it makes this noise, just go to Carl's Jr. instead for a low-carb breakfast bowl. There's eggs, cheese, sausage, ham, bacon, and it's all in a bowl. As for the pizza, have it later with that half-empty beer. Just pretend it's a really big cracker.
The low-carb breakfast bowl with only 5 grams of carbs. New at Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. Price and participation may vary.
On to the top of the fifth from Fresno, California tonight. Opening night here at downtown Grizzly Stadium. So far a good one. A 2-1 lead for the visiting Salt Lake Stingers. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. Check out Subway's fantastic 7 Under 6 lineup. That's right. Your greater Fresno area Subway restaurants have 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less. Like the delicious honey mustard turkey with cucumber with just 4 grams of fat. Try one today. See your local Subway restaurant for the tasty details. Subway, eat fresh. Bottom third of the Salt Lake order here in the 5th as Jerry Johnson leads it off. Facing the left-hander Noah Lowry, who is out of the windup. And his pitch to Johnson is a fastball taken for a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 the count. Jerry grounded to the second baseman with the pitcher covering back in the second inning. So the 4-1 put out. Lowry out of the windup at his 0-1. Johnson breaks his bat on a ground ball foul first base side. No balls, 2 strikes. Lowry tonight will be able to go about 75 pitches. Last time he was only allowed to go 50 pitches because he had hardly pitched at spring training, was at Major League camp. Didn't pitch much there, and then sent to minor league camp. Didn't pitch much there. So he is working himself back into game shape for the 2004 season. No balls, 2 strikes the count to the former Cal Bear and BYU Cougar, Jerry Johnson, who is a Mormon and went on a Mormon mission to Spain. No balls, 2 strikes. Lowry comes home, and Johnson looks at strike 3 on the inside corner, and he is out. Third strikeout for Lowry. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Jake Thrower.
Center fielder, number 12, Jake Thrower.
He reached on a fielder's choice back in the second inning, right-handed batter. 2 runs, 3 hits, and error for the Stingers. A run, 4 hits, and error for the Grizzlies. Thrower, his 3rd different team in the Pacific Coast League. Facing Noah Lowry, whose pitch to Jake is a fastball taken for a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Thrower's been with Portland in the San Diego system, Edmonton in the Montreal system, and now Salt Lake in the Anaheim chain. No balls, 1 strike. Noah Lowry deals, and Thrower swings and pops this one up out on the shallow right. Linden in a few steps waiting for it, and he makes a one-handed catch. 2 down. And that will bring up the second baseman, Brian Speck. On tomorrow night, Tyler Walker will get the call for Fresno. It's supposed to be Kevin Pickford, but he was sent to the Arizona Rookie League camp, along with Ryan Jensen for the time being. So Tyler Walker moves from the bullpen into the rotation for the moment. So here is Speck, right-handed batter, and he takes low inside from Lowry. 1 ball, no strikes. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. Lowry keeps right on going, and the left-hander's 1-0. Speck looks at a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 the count. Lowry going with those short sleeves on this cool mid-April night in the Central Valley. Has 1-1 on the way to Speck. Ryan takes him at his low inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Well, the Grizzlies, who started the year on the road, will get the finish here at home in the regular season. 2-1 the count, and Lowry again delivers. Speck takes in the dirt. 3-1. Final game of this regular season will be September 6th against Edmonton. This will be the final regular season game in the history of the Edmonton Trappers. 3 balls, 1 strike. Again, Lowry deals, and Speck swings on a soft line at a second, caught by Doster. And that ends the top of the 5th. Stingers go 1-2-3. Halfway through this one tonight from Fresno. It remains Salt Lake 2, Fresno 1 on KAT 103.1. The one for Big Man Weekend.
Community Medical Centers is proud to give you all a place to bring your creaks, aches, pains, sprains, and groans. The new state-of-the-art Community Sports Center, conveniently located north Fresno, offers 12,000 square feet dedicated to fitness training and the latest outpatient rehabilitation therapies. Ask your doctor about the place that every body needs, the Community Sports Center. the dogs out? The Fresno Grizzlies will on Tuesday night, April 20th. It'll be 50-cent hot dog night at downtown Grizzlies Stadium, sponsored by Evergood Fine Foods. The game will start at 7:05 against the Edmonton Trappers. While we can't promise a hot night at the park, we can promise a hot dog at a time. Grizzlies baseball, there's nothing minor about it. Do you like great bargains? Enjoy online auctions? Check out B-Link, the Valley's largest local online auction. This is your chance to bid on hundreds of items from local retailers. First, log on to FresnoBee.com/B-Link. That's FresnoBee.com/BEELINK and register anytime beginning April 12th for your chance to preview items up for bid. Check out the merchandise you're interested in at the store's location. Then, look for the product guide in your Fresno Bee starting Sunday, April 18th. But the real fun begins Tuesday, April 20th when you start bidding. B-Link, the Fresno Bee's online auction. Bid online and save.
We're halfway through this ball game tonight from downtown Fresno, California. A 2-1 lead for the Salt Lake Singers. But Greenwald Video on KAT 103.1. The one. And Brian Dallimore to lead it off. Top of the order up for the third time for the Grizzlies. Dallimore, Athos, and Linden. To look at the right-hander, Chris Butchek. And those starters have pitched well here tonight. And now Dallimore 0 for 1 stands in, and Butchek's first pitch is in the dirt to Brian. 1 ball, no strikes. Bullpens have been quiet all evening. 1-0 the count to Brian. Butchek again to the plate, and Dallimore looks for the fastball for a strike on the inside corner. 1-1 the count. The Grizzlies coming through last inning on a solo homer by Tony Torcato. The 1-1 from Butchek. Dallimore chases a slider in the dirt for strike 2. 1-2 the count. And we're online tonight. Feel free to join us at grizzradio@AOL.com. Chris Butchek out of the windup and his 1-2 on the way, and Dallimore chases again a slider well out of the strike zone for strike 3, and he is out. Butchek now with 5 strikeouts tonight. That'll bring up the shortstop, Jamie Athos, in GRIZZ, Grizz Radio at AOL.com. Feel free to instant message us or email us. We'd love to hear from you. Here is Athos, left-handed batter, and Butchek's pitch is a fastball to Jamie, and he looks at a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Outfield well around to the left. And now Athos backs out of the box. Todd Linden waiting on deck. And an outstanding crowd here tonight. No balls, 1 strike. And Athos swings and fouls in at the plate. 0-2. Enjoyed all the kind emails I got when I was on the road from Lee Gardner's family back in Michigan. We appreciate them listening. Just received another email I'll tell you about in a moment. No balls, 2 strikes. Athos to the plate, and Jamie looks inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Where I will tell you about it later this inning. Put it that way. 1-2 the count to the Massachusetts native and Athos. Butchek's 1-2, and Jamie swings, dribbles 1 toward first near the bag. Quinlan, the first baseman, gloves it, and he'll step on first for the unassisted putout. 2 down, and that'll bring up the right fielder, Todd Linden. And it's Todd's mother, who I just received an email from. Todd's mom, Diane, listening tonight. Todd's grandparents are here in Fresno tonight. And that's right, I did get an email from Todd's grandmother the other day, and she told me that she will buy me all the hot dogs I want on 50-cent hot dog night coming up this Tuesday against Edmonton. So here is Linden to face Butchek, switch hitter bats left-handed. And Chris Butchek to the plate, and Linden takes, and that is low inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Todd has grounded the second, and he is struck out looking. Outfield medium depth and straightaway with the first baseman Damon Miner wetting on deck. 1 ball, no strikes. Buchek deals, and Linden looks up and in. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Third baseman Polias back of the bag, well off the line. 2-0 the count. Buchek to the plate. Linden takes low outside. 3 balls, no strikes. The Grizzlies have lost 7 of their first 8 this year. And going back to last year, they have lost 10 of 11. 3 balls, no strikes. Buchek comes home, and Linden takes strike 1 on the outside corner. 3-1 the count. They lost the last 3 games last year in Tucson. 3-1 the count. Big hole out of left center field. And Chris Buchek to the plate, and Linden swings, and a ground ball right at the second baseman Speck. Brian scoops it up, and he throws out Linden. And the Grizzlies, for the third time tonight, go 1-2-3. We go to the 6th from Fresno. A 2-1 lead for Salt Lake on KAT 103.1. The one for Big Man Weekend.
So I go to hang out with my friend Jen the other day, and I get stuck in the lobby of her apartment building because Jen Blind is busy, and I have no one to buzz me in. So there I am between the 2 glass doors, and I notice, for the first time ever, that there are 2 stacks of Yellow Page directories. Right there in front of the mailboxes is a stack of Yellow Book Yellow Pages and a stack of that other book by the phone company. Yuck! Who wants anything from the phone company? So I started thinking, why are there 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? First I called my friend Kathy, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And Kathy goes, no, but did you ever see Yellow Book's menus? They've got a ton of restaurants in there. And then I called my mom, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And my mom goes, no, Candace, but I know Yellow Book has all the businesses I need to redo my home. So I'm thinking, if everyone's so into Yellow Book, how come there are 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? I mean, who needs that other book anyway? Not me.
Smart business owners advertising Yellow Book, not that other book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
In store for a hot, long summer in the Valley? Looking for somewhere that will quench your thirst? Then head to downtown Grizzlies Stadium for every home Thursday game. It'll be Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy 12-ounce Miller products and 12-ounce Coca-Cola products for just $1. That's right, just $1 for every Thursday home game. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
We head to the top of the 6th inning in Fresno, California tonight. A 2-1 lead for the visiting Las Vegas, for the visiting Salt Lake Stingers. 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 error for the Stingers. A run, 4 hits, and an error for the Fresno Grizzlies. And for the third time tonight, Salt Lake will go to the top of its order for the shortstop Alfredo Amezaga. He'll be followed by Brian Gordon and Rob Quinlan. Face the left-hander Noah Lowry, who, like his counterpart this evening, Chris Buchek, has been outstanding. Amezaga to start it off, 0 for 2. And the first pitch to Alfredo is a pass ball taken for a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. He is struck out looking and is down to the second base. Lowry comes right back, is 0-1, and Amezaga looks at strike 2 on the inside corner. Quickly 0-2. Third baseman Dallimore back of the bag, just off the line. First baseman Minor well off the line. And the 1-2 on the way from Lowry. Amezaga swings it, rips one down the left field line, and that is a fair ball headed into the corner. Amezaga, who can fly, he touches first. He is on his way to second. And Torcado's throw goes to the shortstop. Athas standing out in shallow left. And Alfredo Amezaga leads off the top of the 6th with a double. So all 4 Salt Lake hits tonight have been doubles. The 3 doubles which led to 2 runs in the second. We'll see what happens here with Amezaga at second. And the right fielder Brian Gordon. Meanwhile, right-hander Lee Gardner has begun to warm in the Fresno right field bullpen. So now Gordon stands in a bunt situation. Left-handed batter. The corner's ready to charge. Now he's pitched. Gordon shows bunt, and he looks at a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Official team dentist, Dr. Robert S. Arnold, takes care of all the Grizzlies' dental needs. If the Grizzlies can trust Dr. Arnold with their teeth, you can too. No balls, one strike to count. Gordon 0 for 2 tonight. Again shows bunt. He looks low. And the count now is at a ball and a strike. We're getting toward the later portion of the game now. And Salt Lake trying to scratch out a run. Amaziga at second base. Dallimore from third, Minor from first, both ready to charge. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gordon taking all the way this time, which is strike 2 on the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. No action in the Salt Lake bullpen. Talking about Gordon, who was born in West Point, New York, home of the United States Military Academy, but grew up in Round Rock, Texas. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and he swings and hits one to first. Minor up with it. Will take it to the bag, but going to third is Amaziga. Gordon out 3 unassisted, but that's just as good as a sacrifice. That moves Amaziga up 90 feet. He's at third with 1 out. And an opportunity for Rob Quinlan to give Salt Lake another run. Stingers 2, Grizzlies 1. And now the Fresno infield will come in for Quinlan, who's hitless tonight. He has struck out looking and has fly to center field. And the infield in. Outfield comes in a few steps. Amaziga outstanding speed at third base. And Lowry to the plate, and Quinlan swings and pops this one up. Out in the shallow right. This could be trouble, and Gosser cannot get it. Amaziga on his way to the plate, and he will score standing up, and Quinlan hustles all the way to second base with one of the shortest doubles you will ever see. 3-1 Salt Lake. And once again, that's the way things have gone for the Grizzlies here in April. In that situation, you have to bring the infield in. Now that we're heading toward the later portion of the game, at the top of the 6th. And Quinlan popped one up in the shallow right. Foster, the second baseman, going in, had a long way to get to that ball. Linden, coming in from right field, had a long way to get to that ball. And it fell. And Quinlan, hustling all the way, ends up with an RBI double to make it 3-1 Salt Lake. Now this could be all for Lowry, and indeed it is. Fred Stanley, the Grizzlies manager, points to the bullpen. Well, we have a pitching change. We're in the top of the 6th. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1. Back to tell you about Lee Gardner in a moment on KAAT 103.1, The One.
Community Medical Centers is proud to give you all a place to bring your creaks, aches, pains, sprains, and groans. The new state-of-the-art Community Sports Center, conveniently located North Fresno, offers 12,000 square feet dedicated to fitness training and the latest outpatient rehabilitation therapies. Ask your doctor about the place that every body needs, the Community Sports Center. Who let the dogs out? The Fresno Grizzlies will on Tuesday night, April 20th. It'll be 50-cent hot dog night at downtown Grizzlies Stadium, sponsored by Evergood Fine Foods. The game will start at 7:05 against the Edmonton Trappers. While we can't promise a hot night at the park, we can promise a hot dog of a kind. Grizzlies baseball, there's nothing minor about it. Do you like great bargains? Enjoy online auctions? Check out B-Link, the Valley's largest local online auction. This is your chance to bid on hundreds of items from local retailers. First, log on to FresnoBee.com/B-Link. That's FresnoBee.com/BEELINK. And register anytime beginning April 12th for your chance to preview items up for bid. Check out the merchandise you're interested in at the store's location. Then, look for the product guide in your Fresno Bee starting Sunday, April 18th. But the real fun begins Tuesday, April 20th, when you start bidding. B-Link, the Fresno Bee's online auction. Bid online and save.
We're at the top of the 6th inning at downtown Grizzlies Stadium. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The One. Rob Quinlan at second base to run home for the Stingers, and Lee Gardner on the hill for Fresno. No wins, one loss, an ERA at 1.93 through 5 games with Fresno. He makes his Grizzlies Stadium debut. Gets a nice hand from the crowd. Alex Polias stands in, a double and a run scored back in that 2-run second for Salt Lake. Laid at second by Quinlan. And the pitch on the way to Polias is inside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, imperative here that Gardner keep this a 2-run game in favor of Salt Lake. Quinlan at second base, outfield in a few steps. And Gardner's pitch, curve in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner ended up walking home the winning run for Salt Lake. In fact, it was similar to the bases loaded walk last Saturday in Salt Lake's 5-4 win. 2-0 to count. Gardner kicks and delivers. Fastball taken right down the middle by Polias for a strike. 2-1. Gardner with that unorthodox stance on the mound where he'll get up atop the rubber. Plants his right foot. And then his left foot is at an angle toward first base. Holds the ball with his bare hand down toward the ground and then goes into the stretch. Now kicks and delivers, and Polias a ground ball to short. Athos to his left near the second base bag, has it and throws out Polias, but Alex does the job. Gets Quinlan to third with 2 out. That'll bring up the left fielder, Barry Wesson. He had an RBI double and a run scored back in the second inning.
Number 22, Barry Wesson.
We're talking to Lee, and I was talking to Lee last week about pitching in Durham, where he had 30 saves last year in the Durham Bulls International League Championship season. And what a beautiful ballpark that is. But next time I talk to him, I'm going to ask him to compare it to the beautiful ballpark here in Fresno. Now Quinlan at third. And here is Wesson with the infield back, and Barry takes the fastball up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Gardner's spent his entire career up until this year in the Devil Rays organization. Facing Wesson, who spent time in the Astros and Angels chain. Ball, no strikes. Quinlan from third, and Wesson takes the fastball for a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gardner wearing those short sleeves on this about 60-degree evening here in mid-April. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. Lead at third by Quinlan, and Wesson swings and lifts one high in the air in the center field right at Shabala. Adam is there to make the catch. But the Stingers in the 6th had a run on 2 hits. They lead one. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's now Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1 on KAT 103.1. The 1 for Sean Boyd Weather.
Hey, Grizzlies fans! Make sure you get the most complete Grizzlies coverage by subscribing daily to the Fresno Bee, and we'll cap it off with a cap. If you are a baseball fan, you won't want to miss the Bee's in-depth stories, columns, and box scores that appear every day in the Bee. In addition to the complete coverage of your hometown AAA team, you will also receive all the top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. Call today to subscribe to the Bee for 3 months. Mention this ad, and we will send you a free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap. Call 411-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe and receive your free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap today.
Grizzlies mini ticket plans are now on sale. You can choose from a 12-game plan, which includes opening night, 5 giveaway nights, fireworks, and special appearances by the Philly Fanatics, Raiderettes, and Berserk. Or choose the All-Star 18-game plan, which gives you your choice of the day or days of the week which suit you best. That's right. You get to choose your plan. Contact the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers all on a bed of 100% baby spinach. It's Atkins Friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. Watch your language. My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1. We go to the bottom of the 6th from downtown Grizzlies Stadium. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. Noah Lowry tonight went 5 in the third inning. Allowed 5 hits, 3 runs all earned, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. All 5 hits he allowed were doubles. Damon Miner starts it off. Left-handed batter facing the right-handed Chris Buchek. He'll be followed by Sonny Torcado and Adam Shabala. Home half of the sixth. And Chris Buchek out of the windup. And the right-hander's first pitch to Miner is low, ball 1, 1-0. Then the Stingers put on that infield shift for Miner, well around to the right. Third baseman Poliak almost playing a deep shortstop. Shortstop a days ago playing almost right behind the bag, but on the lip of the outfield grass. A 1-0 on the way to Miner. Fastball misses inside. 2 balls, no strikes. And the outfield swung well around to the right. 2 balls, no strikes for Kim. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1. And Buchek out of the windup. And the right-hander's pitch. Miner swings and a ground ball past the second baseman Speck on in the right field. A base hit. And Damon hit that ball sharply. And despite everybody on the Salt Lake infield being pulled all the way around to the right side, Speck, the second baseman, could not get to that one. One on, nobody out. And here is the left fielder, Tony Torcado. He represents the tying run. A solo shot back in the fourth for his first homer, 2004. And action for the first time tonight in the Salt Lake bullpen. And the right-hander warming up. Action on the Grizzlies bullpen as well. So Miner at first base, and the pitch to Torcado, fastball taken for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. The Salt Lake pitcher is right-hander Cameron Islinger, who pitched last year just down the road in Visalia in the Rocky system. No balls, 1 strike. Buchek to the plate, and Torcado swings, grounds one back up the middle, and past the diving second baseman, Speck on in the center field, a base hit. Miner keeps on chugging around the third, and the Grizzlies have runners at the corners with nobody out. And Torcado got us just past the second baseman and Speck. And Fresno now with 6 hits. Sends the go-ahead run to the plate. And the center fielder, Adam Shabala. Left-handed batter. Walks back in the fourth inning. And now the catcher, Wilbur Nieves, out to talk to Buchek. The Grizzlies would like to thank Coney Island Restaurant for providing today's press box food. Be sure to stop by Coney Island, located just around the corner from the stadium at 1906 Tulare Street. Thanks, Coney Island. So Miner at third, Shabala at the plate. Torcado, the runner, at first base. And a 3-1 lead for Salt Lake. As Buchek to the belt. Kicks and delivers, and Adam takes strike 1, a fastball on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Scott Ayer, who is here on a rehab assignment from the Giants, warming up for Fresno. Ayer put on the DL at the end of spring training because of a back injury. No balls, 1 strike. Runners at the corners. And Chris Buchek pitch to Shabala. Adam looks, and that is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. It'll be interesting to see what the Giants do once Ayer gets healthy. Reiner, the runner, at third. Torcado, the tying run at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big hole on the right side of the infield. And Buchek to the plate. Shabala swings late at a fastball and misses the pitch out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Giants already with 3 left-handers in the bullpen with Kevin Walker, Wayne Franklin, and Jason Christensen. So I would guess that one of those guys gets bumped down to Fresno. More than likely Walker or Franklin. I don't imagine it would be Christensen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners. And Buchek to the plate. Shabala swings and dribbles 1 foul first base side near the Fresno dugout. Count remains at 1-2. So imperative here that Shabala at least get a run home. The infield for Salt Lake playing back, and I mentioned the right side of the infield wide open. Speck at second base, shading the bag. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Buchek again set. And the right-hander's pitch. Shabala looks at strike 3 on the outside corner. Good pitch by Buchek. And Shabala called out. 6 strikeouts now for the Salt Lake right-hander. And here comes manager Mike Grumley. And has had a chance to work with Buchek for the last several seasons. Mentioned that with Salt Lake, good action in the bullpen. Cameron Esslinger warming up. And we'll see what Mike Grumley elects to do right here. With Robert Stratton coming up. And we're going to the bullpen. So we have a pitching change. We're in the bottom of the 6th. It is Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1 on KAHT 103.1, the 1.
So I go to hang out with my friend Jen the other day, and I get stuck in the lobby of her apartment building because Jen's line is busy and I have no one to buzz me in. So there I am between the 2 glass doors, and I notice, for the first time ever, that there are 2 stacks of Yellow Page directories. Right there in front of the mailboxes is a stack of Yellow Book Yellow Pages and a stack of that other book by the phone company. Yuck! Who wants anything from the phone company? So I started thinking, why are there 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? First I called my friend Kathy, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And Kathy goes, no, but did you ever see Yellow Book's menus? They've got a ton of restaurants in there. And then I called my mom, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And my mom goes, no, Candace, but I know Yellow Book has all the businesses I need to review my home. So I'm thinking, if everyone's so into Yellow Book, how come there are 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? I mean, who needs that other book anyway? Not me.
Smart business owners advertising Yellow Book, not that other book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
In store for a hot, long summer in the Valley? Looking for somewhere that will quench your thirst? Then head to downtown Grizzlies Stadium for every home Thursday game. It'll be Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy 12-ounce Miller products and 12-ounce Coca-Cola products for just $1. That's right, just $1 for every Thursday home game. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
Cameron Esslinger is the new Salt Lake pitcher. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. A 3-1 lead for Salt Lake. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1, the 1. He inherits David Miner at third and Tony Torcato at first. A 3-1 lead for the Salt Lake Stingers. And Esslinger, who has been in the Pacific Coast League and the Colorado Rockies organization, on the pitch right here. Then tomorrow night, we will be with you at 6:50 for the Miller Lite pregame show. And a 7:05 first pitch. It'll be Jerome Williams bobblehead doll giveaway night, sponsored by Mervin's. That'll be good for the first 2,500. So get here early if you want a Jerome Williams bobblehead doll. So Esslinger, the right-hander, on and relief. Started the season this year at Double-A Arkansas and was promoted just the other day to Salt Lake. He gave up a couple of home runs 2 nights ago to the Sacramento Ball Club. The runners at the corners, and Rob Stratton stands in for the 3rd time tonight, hitless from 2 at-bats. Runners lead at first and third, and Esslinger's pitch. Stratton swings and misses at a high fastball. 0-1. Esslinger spent most of last year at Double-A Pulse in the Rockies system. And also some time at Visalia and Colorado Springs. So really up that ladder in the Rockies chain. No balls, 1 strike. Runners late at the corners. And Esslinger comes back and misses outside to Stratton. 1 ball, 1 strike. So now it's up to Stratton to at least get a fly ball deep enough for the Grizzlies down by 2. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 1. Infield a double play depth. We're in the bottom of the 6th. And the 1-1 on the way. Stratton swings and misses at a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Now both runners aboard belong to Buchek, who pitched very well tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stratton is the go-ahead run. Miner at third, Torcato at first. The 1-2 pitch. Stratton made a motion at it and did not go around, said first base umpire Scott Latender. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Esslinger, 5'11", 180 pounds. Grew up in New Jersey. Stratton grew up in Santa Barbara. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners laid at the corners. Sam the pitch. Stratton the big swing of a foul ball right side. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Big hole out in left center field for Rob. Trying to get Minor home from third. Torquato a small lead at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And he swings a ground ball to short. Amaziga to second for 1 on to first, and the ball thrown away into the Grizzlies dugout. A break for Fresno. Minor scores. And Stratton will get second base automatically on the dead ball. That should have been an inning-ending double play. Instead, Fresno gets a run to make it 3-2 Salt Lake, and the tying run is at second base. They'll give Stratton a run batted in, and take second on the errant throw by the second baseman Speck. Torquato is forced at second, 6-4, but Minor scores. And now Trey Lunsford stands in for the third time. And Esslinger's pitch, swing, and a ground ball to short. Amaziga up with this one. Man swings the ball over to Quinlan at first to get Lunsford. But the Grizzlies get a run back on 2 hits and air. A man left. Leo to 7th. A good one here in Fresno. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2 on KAT 103.1, The One.
Hey, Grizzly fans! Make sure you get the most complete Grizzlies coverage by subscribing daily to the Fresno Bee, and we'll cap it off with a cap. If you are a baseball fan, you won't want to miss the Bee's in-depth stories, columns, and box scores that appear every day in the Bee. In addition to the complete coverage of your hometown AAA team, you will also receive all the top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. Call today to subscribe to the Bee for 3 months. Mention this ad, and we will send you a free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap. Call 411-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe and receive your free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap today.
Grizzlies mini ticket plans are now on sale. You can choose from a 12-game plan, which includes opening night, 5 giveaway nights, fireworks, and special appearances by the Philly Fanatic, Raiderettes, and Berserk. Or choose the All-Star 18-game plan, which gives you your choice of the day or days of the week which suit you best. That's right. You get to choose your plan. Contact the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins-friendly grilled chicken and baby spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers on a bed of 100% baby spinach. It's Atkins-friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. What's your language? My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Scott Ayer is the new Fresno pitcher as we go to the top of the 7th inning. A 3-2 lead for the Salt Lake Stingers. The Greenwald video on KAT 103.1, The One. Lee Gardner went 2/3 of an inning, and that's all for him. Chris Buchek, 5 1/3 innings for Salt Lake. Allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 1, struck out 6, and gave up a home run to Torquato. So again, Scott Ayer on injury rehab from the San Francisco Giants. On the disabled list since the end of spring training with a back ailment, a lower back strain to be specific. So he'll be here tonight, and who knows how much longer. He'll face Will Nieves, Gary Johnson, Jake Thrower, 6, 7, 8 in the visitors' half of the 7th inning. And he comes into a good ball game here tonight, a 3-2 lead for Salt Lake. As Ayer kicks and delivers, and Nieves shows bunt that he takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1 the count. Ayer originally was in the Rangers organization, that made it to the big leagues with the White Sox in '97. He's also been with Toronto and then the Giants in 2002. No balls, one strike. Left-hander to the plate, and Nieves swings late and fouls one off right side. No balls, two strikes. Ayer grew up in Utah with a high school just outside Salt Lake in Cypress, and then went to Southern Idaho Junior College. He is well familiar with the Salt Lake region. No balls, two strikes. And the left-hander's pitch to Nieves bounces in the dirt. 1-2 the count. Ayer last year with the Giants, 2-1 in 74 appearances with a save. Very good ERA at 3.32. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Ayer works from the set position from the third base side of the rubber. Outfield shallow and straight away. And the left-hander's pitch, Nieves pops this one up right at the first baseman, Damon Minor, who hardly has to move for it. Back of the bag in fair territory, and he makes the catch. 1 out. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Gary Johnson. Grizzlies fans, do you change your own oil and oil filter? If so, the city and county of Fresno would like to thank the do-it-yourselfer for recycling your used oil and filters. Do the right thing. It's easy. Well, left-hander against left-hander. Johnson hitless tonight and 2 trips to the plate. And Scott Ayer kicks and comes home. A high fastball. Gary Johnson swings and misses. No balls, 1 strike. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 errors for Salt Lake. 2 runs, 6 hits. An error for Fresno. Crowd waiting for the fireworks show after the ball game tonight. No balls, 1 strike. Ayer to the plate, and the fastball misses up and away. 1-1 the count. Ayer peering into the catcher, Lunsford. Again to the belt, working quickly his 1-1 pitch. Johnson looks low outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Talked about earlier a lot of big showdowns around Major League Baseball in the early going of 2004, including in San Francisco between the Dodgers and the Giants. Going at it tonight at the ballpark in downtown San Francisco. 2 balls and a strike to count. And Ayer kicks and delivers, and Johnson looks inside. 3-1. In that ball game, right now in the bottom of the 8th, the Dodgers a 2-0 lead. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Ayer is set. And the pitch to Johnson. Gary looks at strike 2 on the outside corner. 3-2 the count. Jason Schmidt, his first game back since coming out with a disabled list with an elbow injury. Pitched well tonight, only allowing a run in the first and a run in the 6th, but Odalis Perez has done one better. 3 balls, 2 strikes on the payoff pitch. Fastball low outside, and Johnson draws ball 4. 1 out walk here in the top of the 7th. 3-2 Salt Lake, and that'll bring up the center fielder, Jake Thrower.
Jake Thrower.
I realize it's only April 16th, but these games are very, very important for both ball clubs. And who knows who's going to come out of the National League West. A lot of equality in that division. So here is Thrower, right-handed batter. The switch hitter batting right-handed, and he looks at a strike on the inside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Yankees and Red Sox going at it tonight at Fenway. And the Red Sox get the upper hand, winning that one 6-2. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Thrower tonight, hitless in 2 at bats. Johnson a small lead at first, and Ayer to the plate. Thrower swings and misses at a changeup. No balls, 2 strikes. Outfield medium depth and straight away. And the Dodgers coming into the night a game ahead of the Giants. through the first 9 contests for both ball clubs. No balls, 2 strikes. There comes home. Thrower swinging a ground ball that kicks off the umpire. It is a dead ball. And everybody is safe. The second base umpire, the third base umpire standing out near second, Sean Rakos, hit with a batted ball. And the ruling there is, if a fielder does not have a chance to get to the ball, which nobody really did, and it hits an umpire, it is a dead ball. Everybody is safe. It goes as an infield single. Johnson goes to second. Thrower, a gift single. And Salt Lake with runners at first and second with 1 out for the second baseman, Brian Speck. Looks like it got the right foot of Sean Rakos. Now here is Speck. He swings and lifts one in the air in the left field, but right at Torquato. And Tony is there to make the catch. 2 down. Now, for example, if let's say the ball was hit past the shortstop Athis and then hit the umpire, then the ball is in play. It's similar if a batted ball hits one of the runners. But you don't see that very often. But Sean Rakos making the right call. The runners at first and second, and now Alfredo Amezaga at the top of the order for the 4th time digs in. 3-2 Salt Lake, top of the 7th, and a fastball was outside of Alfredo. 1 ball, no strikes. Should clarify, if a batted ball hits a base runner, the runner is out. But if it hits an umpire, then the batter is safe. Amezaga swinging the tap at a short. Charged by Athis, throws quickly, and he gets Amezaga. Salt Lake in the 7th, no runs. A hit 2 left. Set time at Fresno. It remains Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2 on KAT 103.1. The 1 for Grizzlies baseball.
Do you like great bargains? Enjoy online auctions? Check out B-Link, the Valley's largest local online auction. This is your chance to bid on hundreds of items from local retailers. First, log on to FresnoBee.com/B-Link. That's FresnoBee.com/BEELINK. And register anytime beginning April 12th for your chance to preview items up for bid. Check out the merchandise you're interested in at the store's location. Then, look for the product guide in your Fresno Bee starting Sunday, April 18th. But the real fun begins Tuesday, April 20th, when you start bidding. B-Link, the Fresno Bee's online auction. Bid online and save. Monday, April 19th and Monday, May 10th. It'll be a business person special at downtown Grizzly Stadium. For just $12, you get 2 field-level tickets, 2 hot dogs, 2 bags of David's Original Sunflower Seeds, and 2 12-ounce fountain drinks. Bring a buddy, bring the whole office. Each game starts at 12:05. For more information, call the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball. There's nothing minor about it.
Have you walked into your favorite bar or restaurant lately and noticed something's missing? It's secondhand smoke. It's been at least 6 years since the bars and restaurants have gone smoke-free. People working in the bar and restaurant industry no longer have to worry about choosing between their job and their health. Even customers can breathe easier, now without the smoky haze that once floated around them as they ate and drank. The Fresno County Tobacco Prevention Program at 445-3276 encourages all bars and restaurants to continue protecting their employees and customers from harmful secondhand smoke. If you have any questions regarding the smoke-free workplace law, call the Fresno County Tobacco Prevention Program at 445-3276.
Seventh running stretch time here at Grizzlies Stadium. Doug Greenwald with you. Opening night here in downtown Fresno. It is Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The 1. And the Grizzlies have trailed all evening. Salt Lake was up 2-0 at the end of 2. Fresno made it 2-1 at the end of 4. Each team scored a run on the 6th to keep it a one-run game. For Salt Lake, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. Fresno, 2 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. Fans, for all of your cellular needs, visit Jay's Communications, your Central Valley Nextel authorized dealer leader. From Merced to Bakersfield, Jay's Communications will cover all of your wireless business needs. That game in San Francisco right now, 2-0 Dodgers in the top of the ninth. A big early season get-together between the Giants and the Dodgers. Cameron Esslinger continues his run of passes right now. We'll tell you more about this homestand. We have a business person special coming up here on Monday at 12:05 start. Monday Madness, sponsored by Carl's Jr. A lot going on the Monday Business Person's special. Sounds like a pretty good deal. For just $12, you get 2 field-level seats, 2 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and 2 bags of David Sunflower Seeds. Presented by, you got it, David Sunflower Seeds. Just $12. So bring a friend, bring your boss. Why not? It's at work. Come on out Monday, 12:05 start. David Doster will lead it off for Fresno to face Esslinger. Will be followed by the top of the order for Brian Dallimore and Jamie Aptis. Here in the home half of the 7th inning, a 3-2 lead for the Salt Lake Stingers. Doster a single and a strikeout tonight. He is 1 for 2. Esslinger to the plate and fires a fastball all the way to the backstop. And the count is at 1 ball with no strikes. Action resumes in the Salt Lake left field bullpen. The right-hander warming up. Outfielder well around to the right for Doster. And Esslinger again to the belt, even with nobody on, comes home, and Doster swings and pops one up. Back at second base, Beck, the second baseman on the third portion of the diamond, makes the catch. 1 up, 1 down. And now for the 4th time tonight, Fresno will go to the top of its order for the third baseman, Brian Dallimore. Well, this is Esslinger's first appearance, or first stint outside the Rockies system. Has yet to go to the big leagues. Well, here's Dallimore, 0 for 2 with a walk. This one in the air out of the shallow center. Hustling in comes Thrower, and Jake is there to make the catch. Quickly 2 down. Esslinger mentioned grew up in New Jersey, was born in Vineland, which is near Philadelphia, and went to Seton Hall. That's right, they do play baseball at Seton Hall. It's a very good baseball school, one that has produced Mo Vaughn, Craig Biggio, Rick Cerrone, the former Yankee catcher. So here is Aptis, who swings and pokes one through the hole between short and third and on in the left field. A base hit. Aptis, who played some baseball in the Big East Conference at Providence, singles off Esslinger. And that will bring up the right fielder, Todd Linden.
Right fielder, number 28, Todd Linden.
Switch hitter, backs left-handed. So he is the go-ahead run. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2. Bottom of the 7th inning. And Aptis, the runner at first, with good speed. And Esslinger to the plate. Linden swings and fouls one off left side. No balls, 1 strike. And the 7:05 start here tomorrow night for the Jerome Williams bobblehead doll night. Aptis, the runner at first base, a very small lead, and held on by Quinlan. Outfield swung deep, well around toward right, and Esslinger an easy toss over to first, and Aptis back safely with a dive. Damon Miner waits on deck. A 3-2 lead for the Stingers. We're mixing action in both bullpens right now. Esslinger to the belt. He comes home with a fastball taken outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Crowd getting into it right here. Grizzlies 1-7 on the road trip. Now trying to reverse that here at home. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Lead at first by Athos. Linden swings at a chopper, but right at the first baseman, Quinlan, and he'll take it to the bag, and Linden is out. So the Grizzlies in the 7th. They get a hit and leave one on to the 8th. Here in Fresno, 3-2, Salt Lake on KAT 103.1, the 1.
Welcome to Hank's Kitchen, the cooking show for guys. Today's breakfast, leftover pizza. Step 1, open the fridge. Step 2, pull out the pizza box from last week. But try not to knock over that half-empty can of beer. You're going to need that later. Step 3, look at the pizza. Is it shrunken, dehydrated, and curled up like a witch's boot? If so, you might need to use the microwave. Now, sometimes the pizza is beyond resuscitation. To test it, tap it against the table. If it makes this noise, just go to Carl's Jr. instead for a low-carb breakfast bowl. There's eggs, cheese, sausage, ham, bacon, and it's all in a bowl. As for the pizza, have it later with that half-empty beer. Just pretend it's a really big cracker.
The low-carb breakfast bowl with only 5 grams of carbs. New at Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. Price and participation may vary.
Do you like great bargains? Enjoy online auctions? Check out B-Link, the Valley's largest local online auction. This is your chance to bid on hundreds of items from local retailers. First, log on to FresnoBee.com/B-Link. That's FresnoBee.com/BEELINK and register anytime beginning April 12th for your chance to preview items up for bid. Check out the merchandise you're interested in at the store's location. Then, look for the product guide in your Fresno Bee starting Sunday, April 18th. But the real fun begins Tuesday, April 20th when you start bidding. B-Link, the Fresno Bee's online auction. Bid online and save.
Number 35.
Chad Zerbe is the new Fresno pitcher as we head to the top of the 8th inning at downtown Grizzly Stadium. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2.
Number 18.
And leading it off for the Salt Lake Singers is Brian Gordon, the number 2 hitter. He'll be followed by Rob Quinlan and Alex Pelias. Well, Zerbe comes on in the situation that he is used to doing. Late innings, facing left-handed batters in a close ball game. And his first pitch, the left-handed hitting Gordon, is fouled off left side. No balls, 1 strike. And 3 of the 4 Grizzly pitchers tonight, left-handed: Lowry, Ayer, and Zerbe. Brian Gordon hitless in 3 trips to the plate. Zerbe to the plate, and this is outside with a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zerbe, a quick worker, comes right back as 1-1. Slider swung on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, Scott Ayer in his inning tonight allowed a hit and a walk. It kept us a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Stingers. Gordon 0 for 3. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Zerbe delivers and Brian looks outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, feel free to join us online. Grizzlies, or Grizz Radio at AOL.com. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zerbe comes home. Gordon looks just off the plate. 3-2. GRIZZ, Grizz Radio at AOL.com. 3 balls, 2 strikes to count. Still trying to figure out who has been warming up for Salt Lake. All I can tell you is it's a right-hander. Zerbe's 3-2 on the way, and Gordon swings in a looper toward left, and that's going to fall in front of Sarcato. A base hit. Tony over near the line to pick up the ball on 1 bounce. And a good start for Salt Lake here in the 8th.
Rob.
And that'll bring up the first baseman, Rob Quinlan. Right-handed batter, an RBI double back in the sixth. Matt Hemsley. That's who it is, warming up in the Salt Lake pen. We saw him a couple of times in Salt Lake. So here's Quinlan with Gordon running, and the pitch foul to the backstop. 1 ball, no strike, or no balls, 1 strike. Paid crowd tonight, outstanding crowd, 11,582. And they have seen an outstanding ball game tonight between Salt Lake and Fresno. Salt Lake 3, Fresno 2. Top of the 8th inning. Gordon, the runner at first, a small lead. And Zerby to the plate. Quinlan taps one toward third. Dallimore up with it. Will go to second base to get the force on Gordon. 1 down. Good play by Dallimore, who was on the lip of the grass, hustled in for it, and flung it over to Doster at second. 1 away. Quinlan now on for the second time tonight. And that'll bring up the third baseman, Alex Parias. Hey, Grizzlies fans, have you heard? Your neighborhood Subway restaurants have delicious salads, like the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach, or the classic Club Salad. Subway salads are made fresh right in front of you. Subway, eat fresh. Elias, a double and a run scored back on the 2-run second for Salt Lake. 3-7-2 for the Stingers. 2-7-1 for the Grizzlies. Infield a double play depth with 1 out. Quinlan good speed being held on by Minor. And Chad Zerby to the belt. He delivers a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strike. Mention the Giants and Dodgers tonight. 3-0 LA. They're in the bottom of the 9th in San Francisco. Eric Gagne now in for LA. Outfield shallow and straight away. 1 ball, no strike. Zerby to the plate. High fastball. And Pelias swings and misses. 1-1 the count. Atlanta cools off the Marlins 5-4. Florida's 7-game winning streak is over. Jamie Wright, the winner, beat Darren Oliver, and John Smoltz the save. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. There goes Quinlan, the pitch, swing, and a drive in the right field. That's going to fall in for a base hit in front of Linden. Quinlan keeps right on going to third. And Salt Lake, looking to add to their 1-run lead, has runners at the corners with 1 out for the left fielder, Barry Wesson. Zerby's allowed a couple of singles to start the 8th inning. Or the 2 of the first 3 he has faced here in the inning. And now Wesson stands in for the 4th time, an RBI double and a run scored back in the 2nd. Inslee continues to warm for Salt Lake. Nobody warming up in the Grizzlies bullpen right now. Quinlan at third, Pelias at first. And Chad Zerby to the belt. And the left-hander's pitch, fastball, strike 1 called to Wesson on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Zerby was removed from the 40-man roster by the Giants. Nobody claimed him, and he accepted his assignment to Fresno at the beginning of this season. Runners lead at the corners, and his 0-1 pitch high outside to Wesson. 1 ball, 1 strike. Will Nieves, the catcher, waits on deck. Zerby wearing the long black sleeves underneath his white shirt. Chad, after 10 years in the minor leagues, finally made it to the big leagues with the Giants in 2000. And has really been a big part of their success coming out of the pen the last several years. The 1-1 on the way. Wesson swings and misses at a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Quinlan at third, Pelias at first. Zerby would love a ground ball right here, right at one of his infielders. Middle infield, a double play depth. The shortstop Athos, the second baseman Doster. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Runners lead at the corners. And Zerby again set. Now he comes home and Wesson chases a fastball, but fouls one to the backstop. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pittsburgh went to Shea Stadium, 7-6 over the Mets. Kip Wells, the winner, beat Ober Moreno. Jose Mesa the save for the Pirates. Eric Valent, his second major league home run. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Quinlan at third, Polias at first. And again, Zerbe will throw to first. Zerbe had come set, looked like he was going to come home, and then a courtesy toss over to first. Polias back safely. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And much of the paid, 11,582. Still here. Seen a good ball game. We'll see fireworks after. Ball, 2 strikes. Zerbe to the plate. Wesson looks low and in. Pitch almost hit him around his knee. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Phillies a 4-2 winner at home over Montreal. Eric Milton, his first win as a Philly, beat former Giant Levon Hernandez. Billy Wagner the save. Tony Batista homered for Montreal. Jim Thome and Pat Burrell for the Phillies. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Zerbe's pitch. Wesson swings and a foul ball right side. Count holds the 2-2. Quinlan at third. Polias at first. Wesson a good contact hitter. Zerbe the crafty left-hander. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Will Nieves on deck. Runners lead at the corners. Slam a pitch. Wesson swings and a fly ball to left field. Corcado goes back for it into the gap to make the catch. The tagging from third is Quinlan. He will score standing up. And holding at first is Polias. So good job done by Barry Wesson with 2 strikes, getting a sacrifice fly to make it now 4-2. Salt Lake. Well, that's Wesson's second run batted in of the season. So let me correct that, of the ball game. Gives him 4 on the year. And Salt Lake more than happy to make it out to get a run. So a 4-2 lead now for the Stingers. 2 out. Here's Nieves, right-handed batting catcher. A double and a run, or a double and an RBI back in the second inning. And he swings and fouls one off right side. No balls, 1 strike. Now Barry Bonds has just put one in the seats that San Francisco off Eric Gagne, a 2-run homer that brings it to a 3-2 ball game in favor of the Dodgers. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out. Polias from first, and Nieves a ground ball to shortstop. Aptos up with it, will underhand it to the second baseman Doster to get the force on Polias. But the Stingers in the 8th get a run on 2 hits. They leave one. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's now 4-2 Salt Lake on KAT 103.1. The one for Big Man Weekend.
Community Medical Centers is proud to give you all a place to bring your creaks, aches, pains, sprains, and groans. The new state-of-the-art Community Sports Center, conveniently located north Fresno, offers 12,000 square feet dedicated to fitness training and the latest outpatient rehabilitation therapies. Ask your doctor about the place that every body needs, the Community Sports Center.
Looking for a great place to celebrate your birthday or team party? The Wildwood Pool and Spa at Grizzlies Stadium is the place to be. Also great for bachelor parties, businesses, and family functions. The Wildwood Pool and Spa can accommodate any group from 25 to 50 people in size. Your pool admission includes a catered poolside meal, a unique way to watch Grizzlies take on the competition. For all the great price of just $30 per person. Summer dates are filling fast, so cool off in the Fresno heat by calling 442-1994 to secure a spot by the pool today.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers on a bed of 100% baby spinach. It's Atkins Friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. Watch your language. My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
Matt Hensley is the new Salt Lake pitcher. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Salt Lake 4, Fresno 2. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. So the Stingers are running the top of the 8th inning to build their lead back up to 2 runs. They've led it 1 point tonight, 2-0, 3-1, and now 4-2. And Hensley on in relief of Cam Essinger, who went an inning and 2/3 tonight, allowed 1 hit. Buchek started for Salt Lake, still the fixture of record on the plus side for the Stingers. Fresno comes to bat here in the bottom of the eighth. Damon Miner, Tony Torcato, and Adam Shabala. Trust the Fresno Bee for complete coverage of the Grizzlies, top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. The Fresno Bee is Central California's leading newspaper. Call 559-441-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe today. Miner, left-handed batter to face the right-hander Hensley. Damon a single and a run scored back in the sixth inning. And again, the Stingers put on that infield shift well around to the right. And Hensley out of the full windup there on the right-hander's pitch. Miner takes low inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Now the only offense tonight for the Giants was a 2-run homer by Bonds in the ninth, but not enough. L.A. wins it 3-2 in San Francisco. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Hensley working quickly out of a full windup, comes back and misses inside the Miner. And the count now goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Gagne still gets credit for a save despite allowing the 2-run homer. Out of the windup again, Hensley. His pitch, Miner swings, fly ball, center field. Thrower over a few steps toward right center, and he, the center fielder, makes the catch. 1 down. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Tony Torcato. Hensley, this is his 4th game. Pitched twice in that series against Fresno when we were in Salt Lake last week. In each of his first 3 appearances, he has gone 2 innings. And now he faces Torcato tonight in his Fresno debut of 2004, that is, that he takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Hensley, the San Diego native. Out of the full windup, that is 1-0 on the way. Torcato takes the strike at the knees. 1-1 to count. Now Torcato gets on when the tying run, Shabala, comes to the plate. The 1-1 from Hensley. Tony takes low inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. This ball game today was in Wrigley Field. The Cubs pulling out an 11-10 win in dramatic fashion. 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, Hensley winds, and the 2-1 on the way. Torcato fastball foul to the backstop, 2-2. Cubs were down 10-9 going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Sammy Sosa, a leadoff homer to tie it. Moises Alou followed that with a home run to win it. Danny Graves. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hensley's pitch. Torcato swings and misses with a slider down and in, and he is out. First strikeout for Hensley. 2 down in the home half of the 8th. Salt Lake 4, Fresno 2. And that'll bring up the center fielder, Adam Shabala. Cubs scored 7 runs in the final 4 innings to come back to win. Joe Borowski was the winner. He beat Graves. A plethora of home runs in that ball game. Well, here's Shabala, who walks back in the 4th, and he takes way inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Pitch down to them. Ken Griffey Jr., D'Angelo Jimenez, Wendy Mopena homered for the Reds. Sosa, Todd Hollingsworth, Aramis Ramirez, and Moises Alou all homered. Alou hit 2, including that game winner I was talking about. 1 ball, no strikes. And Hensley to the plate. Shabala swings and a drive in the right center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. Gordon, the right fielder, over to pick it up. And now bobbles the ball. Shabala seeing that will hustle to second base. Well, Adam took a big turnaround first. Didn't want to risk anything with 2 out and the tying run. Stratton coming to the plate. But once he saw Gordon boot the ball to right, said might as well take second base. The tying run at second. I'm sorry, the tying run coming to the plate with Shabala at second. The designated hitter, Rob Stratton, who reached on a fielder's choice, drove homer run in the 6th. Zabala at second, Salt Lake 4. And Fresno 2. Zabala at second base. And the pitch to Stratton, and Rob, big swing and miss, trying to tie it. No balls, one strike. Gives Zabala a single, and he takes second on the error by the right fielder, Gordon. That's the third Salt Lake error tonight. Ray Lunsford waits on deck. Outfield deep and straightaway. No balls, one strike. Stratton takes a fastball. Strike two caught on the outside corner. 0-2. One swing of Stratton's bat to tie this one up. Good ball game here tonight, but Salt Lake a 2-run lead here in the late stages. The ball at second. No balls, two strikes. And the pitch to Stratton up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big hole out in left center field for Rob. That's where most of his power goes. Zabala from second. And the 1-2 on the way from Hensley. Here it is. Stratton looks at strike 3 on the outside corner. Grizzlies tonight in the 8th. No runs, a hit, an error, a man left. On to the ninth for Fresno. Salt Lake 4, Fresno 2 on KAT 103.1. The one for Big Man Weekend.
Baseball season is here, and it's time to book your picnic in the Miller Pavilion at Grizzlies Stadium. Watch your Fresno Grizzlies battle the competition in the best stadium in minor league baseball. The Miller Pavilion provides a great environment for your company or church picnic, and your admission includes your seat and a fully catered meal. Prices start as low as $21.50, and availability is limited. So call 442-1994 to speak with a Grizzlies representative today to book your event.
Emergency hotline, can I help you?
Hello? Yes, I need help.
All right, sir, what's the problem?
I can't taste my beer.
You can't taste your beer?
No, and it's really freaking me out.
Okay, calm down, sir.
I take a sip, I feel it in my mouth. It's wet, but there's no taste. Nothing.
Okay, sir, listen to me. Sir, stay with me. What's your name?
Robert.
Okay, Robert, this is what I want you to do. Put the bottle down and step away from the beer. Go ahead.
Okay, I did it.
Now I want you to leave the house immediately, walk straight down to the corner store and pick up a 6-pack of Miller Lite. Robert, are you listening?
Yes.
Open one, take a sip, and everything should be right back to normal.
Okay.
Don't worry, Robert. We've seen this problem before. It's going to be all right.
Next time, try the light beer that actually tastes like beer. Great tasting, less filling Miller Lite. Miller. Good call. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
On to the ninth here in Fresno. Salt Lake 4, Fresno 2. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. 4 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors for the visiting Stingers. 2 runs, 8 hits, and an error for the hometown Grizzlies. Gary Johnson, Jake Thrower, Brian Speck. 7, 8, 9 here in the visitors' half of the ninth inning to face the left-hander Chad Zerbe. Gary tonight is 0 for 2 with a walk, left-handed batter. And Chad Zerbe's first pitch, Johnson takes up and in. 1 ball, no strikes. And the Grizzlies will go to the bottom of the inning, trailing regardless. 1 ball, no strikes. The fastball outside, 2-0. So it's been a common theme so far this year with the Grizzlies going to the last at bat, needing to catch up. 2 balls, no strikes. Chad Zerbe to the plate, and Johnson swings this one foul left side, 2-1. Cleveland beats up on Detroit tonight, 10-3. CC Sabathia, the winner, beat Nate Cornejo. Jody Garrett, a home run for Cleveland, as well as Martinez. Garrett tonight went 5 for 5 for the Tribe. 2 balls, 1 strike. And Zerbe's pitch. Johnson swings and a drive in the left center field. That's going to be in for a base hit. The left fielder Torquato hustles to pick it up toward left center. And Johnson has his first hit tonight. Time the ball game for Salt Lake. And here is Jake Thrower. An infield hit back in the 7th inning. That was against Scott Ayer. Outfield medium depth and straightaway. Salt Lake 4, Fresno 2. Stingers would love another run right here with Johnson at first base. Has good speed, being held on by Minor, and Zerby an easy toss over to first. We'll let Johnson know he's thinking about. Baltimore all over Toronto tonight, 11-2 at Skydome. Riley beat Batista. Rafael Palmeiro, Jay Gibbons, and Javier Lopez all homer for the Orioles. Josh Phelps went deep for the Blue Jays. Gallimore on the lip of the grass at third, and Chad Zerby's pitch. One at first base side of the mound, picked up by the pitcher Zerby, and with his momentum carrying him toward the first base line, tags out Thrower, who does the job. Sacrifice goes one unassisted. One out here in the top of the ninth. And that'll bring up the second baseman, Brian Steck. New at Carl's Jr., the low-carb breakfast bowl with eggs, cheese, bacon, sausage, ham, and only 5 grams of carbs. Now only at Carl's Jr. Without us, some guys would starve. Available at participating locations. Now here is Steck, hitless in 3 trips to the plate. And a breaking ball from Zerby is taken for a strike on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Outfield medium depth and straight away. Zerby to the plate, and then Speck swings and pops this one up. Shallow right field. Linden underneath it is there to make the catch. Tagging from second is Johnson. He is on his way to third. Linden's throw not in time, and Gary Johnson slides in safely. So 2 productive outs here on the top of the ninth by Salt Lake. The sacrifice by Thrower, and the fly out by Speck. And now for the 5th time tonight, Salt Lake will go to the top of its order for the shortstop, Alfredo Amezaga. Tampa Bay shuts out the White Sox 3-0 at Tropicana Field. Paul Abbott, the winner. Beats Wright, Vinny Baez the save. Julio Lugo and Carl Crawford homered for the D-Rays. Here's Amezaga, who looks up and away from Zerby. 1 ball, no strikes. Red Sox beat the Yankees at Fenway 6-2. Tim Wakefield. Now, I can't really say gets revenge. Certainly not going to make up for last year. In a series, he pitched outstanding baseball, by the way, but gets the win tonight. Beat Javier Vasquez. 1 ball, no strikes, and Amezaga looks up and away. 2-0. I'm alluding to Wakefield allowing the pennant-winning home run to Aaron Boone and the Yankees last year. Jorge Posada homered for New York. Manny Ramirez, Bill Miller, and former Grizzly Doug Mirabelli homered for the Red Sox. Lead at third by Johnson. 2 balls, no strikes, and Amezaga looks at strike 1 on the inside corner. 2-1. Have to be careful right here with Amezaga, a guy who can do many different things with a bat, including bunt. And Minor at first base, in on the grass. 2 balls, 1 strike. Alfredo looks up and away. 3-1 now. Three balls, 1 strike to count. Johnson a small lead at third in foul territory, and Zerby to the plate. Amezaga swings and grounds one to third, but right at Gallimore, just back of the lip of the grass. And he throws it away past Minor. Johnson scores, and Amezaga is safe at first. And Salt Lake, a gift-wrapped run right there, makes it 5-2. Well, a good play by Gallimore to get to that ball. But his throw pulled the 6-7 Minor well off the bag. I don't think Yao Ming could have caught that one. So a big run right there for the Stingers makes it now 5-2 Salt Lake. Charge and air to Gallimore. And here is Brian Gordon, who's 1 for 4. So once again, the Grizzlies defense letting them down. Fresno 2 errors last night. 2 more here tonight. And they've been costly. Well, Meziga at first base does not get credit for a run batted in, but I don't think he really cares. Salt Lake a 5-2 lead. Gordon a single his last time up. And Zerby comes set. And a sidestep delivery, fastball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Well, the two teams tonight have combined for 5 errors. 3 for Salt Lake, 2 for Fresno. 1 ball, no strikes to count. Amazing, a very good speed at first, being held on by Minor. And Zerby to the plate, and Gordon takes up and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Oakland a 3-0 win at Anaheim tonight behind Tim Hudson. He beat Bartolo Colon. Arthur Rhodes is 5th save. Jermaine Dye, what a start he has had. 6 homers already for the A's. He sits safely in all 10 Oakland games. 2 balls, no strikes, and a fastball taken with an ease by Gordon, strike 1. 2-1. Adam Melhuse and Eric Burns both hit their first homers of the year for Oakland. Texas shuts out Seattle tonight, 5-0 at Safeco. Channel Park, the winner. He's Gilmesh. 2 balls, 1 strike. Meziga from first, and now Zerby an easy toss over, and Alfredo back in, standing up safely. Hank Blaylock and Lance Nix both over for the Rangers. Minnesota winner at home tonight, 9-7 over Kansas City. Ricardo Rincon the winner, beat Jaime Cerda. 2 balls, 1 strike. Zerby delivers on a high fastball. Gordon swings and misses 2-2. Former Grizzly Joe Nathan the save. Juan Gonzalez homered twice for Kansas City. Mark Sweeney homered. Carlos Beltran homered. Lou Ford went deep for the Twins. The Royals struggling in the early going, as are the Mariners. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 out. And Meziga from first, and Gordon takes low outside. 3-2 now. So he'll be off automatically. Salt Lake 5, Fresno 2. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Well, the Mariners now 2-8. Oakland off to a 7-3 start. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Meziga at first. He'll take off any moment. There he goes, and Gordon swings and a foul ball back toward the press box. And we'll try it again at 3-2. And 3-2 the count. 5-2 the score. Salt Lake out in front. Meziga ready to go from first. Zerby's pitch. Gordon swings on a tapper to first, right at Damon Minor. And he'll take it to the bag for the unassisted putout, but Salt Lake gets a run on a hit. 1 error, 1 left. Last chance for Fresno. We go to the 9th. It's Salt Lake 5, Fresno 2 on KAG 103.1. The 1.
Community Medical Centers is proud to give you all a place to bring your creaks, aches, pains, sprains, and groans. The new state-of-the-art Community Sports Center, conveniently located in North Fresno, offers 12,000 square feet dedicated to fitness training and the latest outpatient rehabilitation therapies. Ask your doctor about the place that every body needs, the Community Sports Center.
Looking for a great place to celebrate your birthday or team party? The Wildwood Pool and Spa at Grizzlies Stadium is the place to be. Also great for bachelor parties, businesses, and family functions. The Wildwood Pool and Spa can accommodate any group from 25 to 50 people in size. Your pool admission includes a catered poolside meal, a unique way to watch Grizzlies take on the competition for all the great price of just $30 per person. Summer dates are filling fast, so cool off in the Fresno heat by calling 442-1994 to secure a spot by the pool today.
What's my Subway salad? Well, it's hard for a farmer man to choose. Yes, my goat friend, the new Atkins Friendly Grilled Chicken and Baby Spinach is my favorite, with grilled chicken strips and tasty toppers all on a bed of 100% baby spinach. It's Atkins Friendly. So's the classic club salad made fresh under my sniffer. Too bad Atkins ain't for goats. Watch your language. My Subway salad, any of the new Subway fresh salads. It's what I eat when I want to eat fresh. Subway, eat fresh.
All right. We go to the bottom of the 9th here in Fresno. Salt Lake 5, Fresno 2. So Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one. 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for Salt Lake. 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for Fresno. A reminder that our Fresno B post-game show is coming up after this contest. Trey Lunsford, David Doster, and the top of the order for Brian Dallimore, 8-9-1. See what they can do against the right-hander Matt Hensley, who is looking for his first save this year. The only save on the Salt Lake roster belongs to Steve Andrade. So here is Lunsford, who is 2 for 3. A couple of singles tonight. And the right-hander Hensley out of the full windup comes home. A fastball was taken for a strike on the outside corner by Lunsford. 0-1 the count. The newcomer to the Grizzlies, Leo Estrella, warming up in the right field pin. Well, one on the way is a fastball missing inside to Lunsford. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leo was acquired at the end of spring training from the Milwaukee Brewers. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hensley comes back in a pop-up by Lunsford out on the shallow right, drifting out for it is Speck, and the second baseman is there to put it away. 1 down. And that'll bring up the second baseman, David Doster. Check out Subway's fantastic 7 under 6 lineup. That's right, your greater Fresno area Subway restaurants have 7 sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less. Like the delicious honey mustard turkey with cucumber with just 4 grams of fat. Try one today. See your local Subway restaurant for the tasty details. Subway, eat fresh. Francisco Santos is going to pinch hit for David Doster. There on the bottom of the 9th inning against Matt Hensley, who fires in a strike on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike. Hensley working quickly. And the right-hander again out of the full windup comes right back. Santos swings, and this is a breaking ball in the dirt. And the count is at 1-1. Santos 222 in the early portion of 2004. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hensley to the plate. Santos swings, and well, apparently it was strike 3. The count was at 0-2. And he is out. We apologize for that. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, and Santos is out. And the Grizzlies down to their last out for the top of the order, and third baseman Brian Dallimore, who was 0 for 3 with a walk. And Hensley's pitch. Dallimore looks at strike 1 on the outside corner. 0-1 the count. Hensley again right back is 0-1 on the way. Dallimore takes up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. 5-2 Salt Lake, bottom of the 9th with 2 out. Action in both bullpens. And Hensley trying to finish it right here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dallimore needs to get on. The Nathas would need to get on to get the tying run to the plate. Ryan swings later. The changeup and misses. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And now Fresno down to its last strike and in jeopardy of falling to 1-8 here in 2004. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Hensley looking to finish it right here. Out of the windup, his pitch. Dallimore swings, and this is a breaking ball, strike 3. And the ball game is over. So Hensley strikes out 4 of the 7 batters he faces here tonight. Grizzlies go 1-2-3 in the 9th. Final score this evening: Salt Lake 5, Fresno 2. Back of the final totals in a moment on KAT 103.1, The One.
Elephants will stand so proud, give and sing when they hoot out loud. If you don't believe it's true, come on, let's do the thing.
The Chaffee Zoo is wild with magic and adventure. Capture it through the eyes of your children. When you do the zoo, it's fun, it's educational, and it's the Valley's best bargain in family entertainment.
Dr. Sue will tell you that giraffe second lunch, camel riding through the zoo while the hippo sings along.
Bring the kids out out to the zoo and see what the zoo brings out in them. A fascination with nature, a natural inquisitiveness, and a real sense of fun and adventure. Discover the Chaffee Zoo, the place the valley's wild about.
Bring your family, come right in. You're always welcome here, my friend. Every word I say is true.
Do the Chaffee Zoo. In Fresno, 1 block east of 99 on Olive Avenue.
Come on, let's do the zoo.
A message from the Fresno Advertising Federation.
Fresno Grizzlies baseball was sponsored by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. The Fresno Bee since 1922. The Central Valley's leading newspaper. Subway. Eat Fresh. Community Medical Center. Carl's Jr. Yellow Book USA. His Magazine. Supercuts. Human Services Center. And the County of Fresno Used Oil. Now, stay tuned for the Fresno Bee postgame show coming up next. It's now time for the Fresno Bee postgame show. Since 1922, the Fresno Bee has been Central California's leading newspaper. Now for the recap of the game, here's Doug Greenwald.
Well, apparently home cooking is not good enough tonight for the Fresno Grizzlies, playing their first game this season at downtown Grizzlies Stadium. Salt Lake comes in here and wins this contest 5-2. Here are the final totals for the victorious Salt Lake Stingers. 5 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors, 6 left. Fresno, 2 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors, 8 left. The winning pitcher, Chris Buchek, he goes to 1-1. The loss to Noah Lowry, he falls to 0-1, and Matt Hensley saves number 1. Time of the ballgame, 2 hours, 41 minutes, played in front of a paid crowd of 11,582. Stay tuned, the Fresno Bee postgame show is coming up next.
So I go to hang out with my friend Jen the other day, and I get stuck in the lobby of her apartment building because Jen's line is busy and I have no one to buzz me in. So there I am between the 2 glass doors, and I notice, for the first time ever, that there are 2 stacks of Yellow Page directories. Right there in front of the mailboxes is a stack of Yellow Book Yellow Pages and a stack of that other book by the phone company. Yuck. Who wants anything from the phone company? So I started thinking, why are there 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? First, I called my friend Kathy, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And Kathy goes, no, but did you ever see Yellow Book's menus? They've got a ton of restaurants in there. And then I called my mom, and I said, did you know there were 2 kinds of Yellow Pages? And my mom goes, no, Candace, but I know Yellow Book has all the businesses I need to redo my home. So I'm thinking, if everyone's so into Yellow Book, how come there are 2 stacks of Yellow Pages? I mean, who needs that other book anyway? Not me.
Smart business owners advertising Yellow Book, not that other book. Call 1-800-YB-YELLOW.
The Fresno Grizzlies have a full lineup in store for you opening weekend. On Saturday, 7:05, it'll be Jerome Williams bobblehead night for the first 2,500 fans, sponsored by Mervyn's. The weekend is capped on Sunday, a 2:05 matinee. The first 10,000 fans will receive Crazy Paint Fresno Grizzlies magnetic schedules. Tickets are still on sale for all 3 games. Call the Grizzlies front office at 559-442-1994. Grizzlies baseball, there is nothing minor about it.
Welcome to the Fresno Bee postgame show. Doug Greenwald with you on KAT 103.1. The one, and this one tonight in favor of Salt Lake 5-2. Salt Lake now 7-2. Fresno falls to 1-8 in the early portion of 2004. Salt Lake got on the board twice in the second inning. 3 straight doubles to open the second. Alex Pelias on a line drive ball toward right field, and Todd Linden went in for the ball and ended up going over his head for a double. Barry Weston then followed with a double to left. Will Nieves followed on a bloop double, or with a bloop double to left after Weston's double to left. So that made it 2-0 in favor of Salt Lake. Fresno came back with a run on the 4th on a solo homer by Tony Torcato, his first of the year in his first game with Fresno this season. But Salt Lake came back with a run on the 6th, an RBI double by Rob Quinlan. The first 5 Salt Lake hits tonight all went for doubles. After that, Fresno came back with a run on the 6th, Rob Stratton on a fielder's choice. And then Salt Lake with a run on the 8th on an RBI sacrifice fly by Barry Weston. And then in the top of the 9th with 2 out, Brian Dallimore was playing in on the grass, got the ball off the bat of Alfredo Meziga but threw the ball errant past the first baseman, Damon Miner. That scored Gary Johnson, who had let off that top of the ninth with a single. That made it by a score. That made it a 5-2 contest. So that proved to be very, very big because Matt Hensley finished the ball game 2 innings, allowing just 1 hit, and he struck out 4. So not to be tonight for the Fresno Grizzlies, and unfortunately we have said that a lot here in 2004. Not even 2 weeks into the season. Chris Buchek tonight, outstanding starting appearance. 6 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings, allowing 2 runs on 6 hits while walking 1. Noah Lowry pitched well tonight, but on the losing end of things, going 5 1/3 innings, striking out 3, did not walk a batter, and he allowed 5 hits. Good relief tonight for the most part for the Grizzlies. Lee Gardner, 2/3 of an inning. Scott Ayer, a scoreless inning, and Chad Zerbe went 2 innings, allowing 3 hits and 2 runs, one of which was earned, did not walk or strike out anyone. But tonight, Salt Lake comes in, wins it 5-2. As we continue with our Fresno V postgame show, we'll go to the scoreboard tonight. And the Los Angeles Dodgers come into the ballpark in San Francisco. Led 3-0 going to the 9th. Barry Bonds, a 2-run homer off Eric Gagne. So that's all the Giants could get tonight. L.A. wins 3-2, so another save for Gagne. I believe that's his 58th consecutive save. Dallas Perez, the winner, 1-1, beat Jason Schmidt, who pitched well in his first outing this year. He falls to 0-1. Eric Gagne, his 3rd save. Home run for Barry Bonds, his 4th, and Major League career 662nd. Elsewhere today, the Cubs come back to beat the Reds 11-10. Back-to-back homers in the bottom of the 9th by Sammy Sosa and Moises Alou. Alou hit 2 on the day. And the home run by Sosa in the 9th to tie it ties him all-time with Mr. Cub, Ernie Banks, with 512 Major League home runs. Philadelphia doubles up Montreal at Citizens Bank Park 4-2. Eric Milton, his first win with the Phillies. The Pirates top the Mets with a 7-run 8th inning, 7-6 at Shea. Atlanta halts the Marlins 7-game winning streak 5-4 at Turner Field. Eli Marrero, his first homer with the Braves. Chipper Jones hit his 2nd of the year. Right, the winner for Atlanta beat Darren Oliver, and John Smoltz will save his 2nd. Houston, a 2-0 shutout win at home over Milwaukee behind Roy Oswalt, and Doug Davis the loss in that one. St. Louis beats up with Colorado 13-5. The Rockies' pitching staff has allowed 24 runs in the last 2 games. Matt Morris, the winner, beat Matt Stark. Eddie Castilla, Todd Helton, Kit Pello, all homer for the Rockies. Reggie Sanders homered twice for the Cardinals. Tony Womack also homered for St. Louis, as did Anderson. Arizona shuts out San Diego tonight, 5-0, a 2-hitter for Randy Johnson. He's now 1-1, beat Jake Peavy, 0-1. American League tonight, the A's another win at Anaheim, 3-0. Tim Hudson, the winner, 2-0, beat Bartolo Colon, 2-1. Arthur Rhodes, his 5th save. Jermaine Dye, what a year he's had so far in just a 2-week span. Not even that yet. His 6th home run. Adam Melhuse and Eric Burns also homered for the A's, each with their first of the year. The showdown at 4 Yawkey Way went in favor of the Red Sox at Fenway Park, 6-2 over the Yankees. Tim Wakefield, the winner, beat Javier Vasquez. Wakefield 1-0, Vasquez 1-1. Jorge Posada, his 5th homer for the Yankees. Andy Ramirez hit his 2nd homer of the year, as did Bill Miller. And former Fresno Grizzly Doug Mirabelli hit his 1st. Cleveland, a 19-hit attack over Detroit tonight, wins at 10-3. CC Sabathia, the winner. Jody Garrett, the fine Indians youngster, went 5 for 5. Baltimore wins at Toronto tonight, 11-2. Rafael Palmeiro homers for Baltimore. Josh Phelps homers for Toronto. Tampa Bay shuts out the White Sox 3-0. Paul Abbott, the winner in that one. Julio Lugo and Carl Crawford go deep for the Devil Rays. Minnesota beats up on Kansas City 9-7. Juan Gonzalez homered twice for the Royals, now with 3 on the year. Mark Sweeney and Carlos Beltran went deep for the Royals. Lou Ford homered for the Twins. Texas sent Seattle to another early season loss, 5-0. They scored 1 in the first and 4 in the second at Safeco. That's all they needed. Behind Shanho Park, who goes to 1-2. Gilmesh falls to 0-2. Hank Blaylock homered for the Rangers, his 3rd. Lance Nix homered for the Rangers, his 2nd. Final score here, Salt Lake 5 and Fresno 2. When we get back, we'll set the scene for tomorrow. We'll do it in a moment on the Fresno V postgame show.
Hey, Grizzly fans! Make sure you get the most complete Grizzlies coverage by subscribing daily to the Fresno Bee, and we'll cap it off with a cap. If you are a baseball fan, you won't want to miss the Bee's in-depth stories, columns, and box scores that appear every day in the Bee. In addition to the complete coverage of your hometown AAA team, you will also receive all the top local news, entertainment, and advertisements. Call today to subscribe to the Bee for 3 months. Mention this ad, and we will send you a free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap. Call 411-6233 or 1-800-877-3400 to subscribe and receive your free Fresno Grizzlies baseball cap today.
Churches of the Central Valley, get ready to come together for a night of fun and fellowship as Grizzly Stadium and the Fresno Grizzlies host the 3rd annual Christian Fellowship Night on Friday, May 21st. Grizzly Stadium is the perfect setting to host the churches of the Central Valley as they unify to assist Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Young Life, and Youth for Christ in their outreach efforts to all Valley youth. $3 of every ticket that is pre-sold by church groups for this event will go to benefit those organizations so they can reach every young person with the message of Christ. And that's not all. Before the game, there will be local Christian bands, Absent Stone and Cromwell performing live, and a special on-field check presentation and church recognition. Then the Fresno Grizzlies take the field to battle the Memphis Redbirds. Between innings, fans will get to enjoy the crazy on-field antics of superstars. For more information on how your church can be involved in this big event, contact Ryan Merrill at the Grizzlies office, 559-320-2532, or Shane Scott at 559-320-2531. Act now. Seating is very limited.
Final score here tonight, Salt Lake 5, Fresno 2. We continue with our Fresno Bee postgame show. Doug Greenwald with you here at downtown Grizzly Stadium in Fresno, California. Now it's time to set the scene for tomorrow. We'll be back with you 6:50 tomorrow night, 6:50 for the pregame, 7:05 first pitch. It'll be right-hander Tyler Walker, 0-1 for the Grizzlies. He'll be opposed by Salt Lake right-hander Delvin James. No wins and no losses. Jerome Williams bobbleheads all night for the first 2,500, sponsored by Mervyn's. 559-442-1994 for tickets, or log on to the Fresno Grizzlies website at www.fresnogrizzlies.com. Final score here tonight, it was Salt Lake 5 and Fresno 2. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Fresno Bee postgame show. Join us next time for another exciting edition of Fresno Grizzlies Pacific Coast League Baseball.